The series finale awaits on Baylor Lariat Radio as the Bears look to extend their best win streak of the season to 6 games. They extended it last night with a 15-3 win, I should say yesterday afternoon, 15-3 over Incarnate Word, and a chance to pull off another series sweep right here at the Baylor ballpark against a non-conference opponent. Hi, everybody, and welcome back into Baylor Lariat Radio. I'm Joe Pratt, joined alongside Foster Nicholas for this Sunday afternoon baseball game. Foster, a great day here at the ballpark, not a lot of wind, very few clouds in the sky, and a great opportunity for the Bears in these nice gold uniforms to pull off another sweep.
And not a lot of wind, like you said, but this has still been a series where Baylor has led by the long ball. 6 home runs for the green and gold in this series, 2 of which coming off the bat of Wesley Jordan yesterday. Still look for the long ball to be a factor today. I think we were setting it at maybe 2, maybe 3. You'll look for that, but you'll also look at a pitching duel between a couple of still younger pitchers in the junior for Incarnate Word, Hunter Hargett, and the freshman for Baylor in Mason Green, who's looking to bounce back after a couple of rocky starts. Went 4 innings and gave up 3 runs against Cincinnati to close last month out. In the outing before at Texas, he went just 1 inning after allowing 5 runs. So you're looking for Green to get back on track, similar to an outing he had on March 17th against Texas Tech, where he went 6 innings and allowed just 2 hits while breezing through. He'll look to do the same, but Baylor likely not going to work more than 5 innings for Green, as they've got a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday series against BYU, which would put Green in the Thursday start.
And we're going to take a quick break real quick for the national anthem at the Baylor ballpark. When we come back, we'll bring you starting lineups, the umpiring crew, and how these two teams align in the field for Game 3 this weekend. It's Incarnate Word, it's Baylor, and it's all coming up next on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Just a few moments away from Game 3 at the Baylor Ballpark between Baylor and Incarnate Word. We welcome you into Baylor Lariat Radio for the series finale between the Bears and the Cardinals. Baylor taking the first game by a score of 13-7, blowing out the Cardinals in yesterday's contest as well, 15-3. And Foster, they're looking to pull off their sixth straight win. This year it would be the longest streak they have had, longest streak under Mitch Thompson, and looking to extend that once again here today. What's going to be key in doing that?
Well, they found their longest winning streak under Mitch Thompson yesterday with their fifth straight. That's the longest since 2022. A win here makes it the longest since 2021 as part of an 8-game winning streak that the Bears found mid-May. So they're looking to do this with Mason Green on the bump, and it's definitely going to be a key to throw strikes and get ahead on this Incarnate Word lineup. That's what it's really been all weekend. If you find yourself in 2 strike counts on the mound, the Bears have found success. The only rocky innings have really come when they fall behind and allow a couple of free passes. That's how Colin McKinney gave up 2 yesterday, and also how the bullpen gave away 5 unanswered to finish off Friday night's game. But ultimately, it's going to be Baylor's pitching. And then you look at the long ball to play a factor. We've said it, 6 home runs this weekend. Watch for Wesley Jordan and crew to punch a couple out tonight to create some separation.
Yeah, and it'll be Mason Green out there on the bump to make a start for the Bears, has settled into the Sunday starting role as a Baylor Bear in his freshman year. And he'll be going up against the Incarnate Word lineup, started off by Cam Cayley, a really similar look to what we've had the last few days, but some changes with Cayley there at the leadoff spot once again, playing in center field. Grant Randall bats second. He plays at short. Dalton Beck gets his third start in the DH spot and in the third spot in the order, I should say. Ryan Scott bats cleanup, plays first. Tony DeJesus at second bats fifth. J.D. Gregson doing the catching bats sixth. Sam Tormos in right field bats seventh. Daniel Calabrese in left bats eighth. And Ryder Hernandez plays at the hot corner and bats ninth. On the mound today for Incarnate Word will be Hunter Hargett, but that's going to have to wait as Mason Green toes the back of the rubber. He'll be working from the windup, glove in front of his face, and now he kicks and deals home. A first pitch fastball at 87 miles an hour, catches the outer half of the zone. 0-1 to Cayley.
Defensive alignment for Baylor tonight. You've got Jack Johnson at first, Daniel Altman at second, Tariq Kemp at short, and Hunter Toplansky at third.
0-1, misses low and away.
Battery mates Mason Green. Behind the plate is Cortland Castle. Outfield from left to right, Wesley Jordan, Ty Johnson, and Enzo Apodaca.
Green's got a 1-1 count on Cayley. Cayley watches it go by. Nearly catches that outer half of the zone once again. It doesn't, though. It's 2-1. Cayley went 2 for 4 in game 1. Yesterday going 2 for 3, and now he sends a high fly ball just outside of the infield. That'll get towards center. Wynn still pushing it in as Johnson charges into shallow center. He had to run a long way to come in to get that one. Clearly the wind pushing it back towards the infield, but he hails it down for out number 1.
It looked like Johnson initially thought that Daniel Altman was going to call for it, saw the ball, and then just lost it. So Johnson, who was playing back because Cayley showed some power this series, doesn't have a home run, but does have a double. So he was playing about 20 feet in front of the warning track, had to race all the way in about 5 feet from the infield dirt.
Here's the next batter, Grant Randall from the right side. Lefty Green deals, low and outside on the fastball for strike 1. Randall is showing bunt. Hitting at a .292 clip on the season. Bears have done a pretty good job of keeping him quiet this series. He's 0 for 6. 0-1. Breaking ball that he flips foul high to the right out of play. 0-2 to Randall.
Only knock for Mason Green this year. He's given up 4 home runs. Not a guy who's really going to be that ordinary ground ball pitcher. But with room at Baylor Ballpark, it's okay to get those pop-outs.
Next pitch, cut on and missed. One that was low and away on the breaking stuff. And Mason Green has himself the first strikeout of the afternoon.
Which means you need to stand up, make noise for those game Baylor baseballs coming your way.
Yeah, that's something he talked about a lot. He's not going to blow you away with his fastball or his velocity, but his off-speed stuff can really get you when he sequences well. This first pitch to Dalton Beck, lifted into left field, takes a hop into the glove of Wesley Jordan. One pitch, one hit here on the day for Dalton Beck, and much needed for him after a quiet day at the plate yesterday.
Yeah, just one hit in the series coming into today, and that was his first at-bat of the series on Friday night. He had a 2-run home run. Since then, Baylor had kept him quiet and lowered his batting average to 400, or rather below 400, and now it bounces right back to that 400 mark. For that pitch, Mason Green had batters with 2 outs, hitting just 154, so he's been very good at closing out the frame.
Green will be working from the stretch now. Pitches low and inside to Ryan Scott, right-handed swinging first baseman out of the Colony, Texas. Yeah, Dalton Beck entered this series with the second-best batting average in the Southland Conference at .414, now just batting .400. Takes a short lead at first, and Green will check back on him there. He's in standing up. Jack Johnson getting the first start of the season at first base. Appeared in 6 games so far and hit his first career home run in college baseball yesterday's game. Did it as a pinch hitter, too. Now he holds the runner on at first, 1-0. Breaking ball, catches the outer half, 1-1. So clearly Johnson making a statement in yesterday's game and gets his first start today. Must feel good for him.
Yeah, Johnson and Posey, we talked about a postgame with Coach Thompson. They were in the same boat, both guys who had arm injuries and couldn't really play. They both re-entered the equation this series.
Green will throw back there. At first, Johnson has to lean down and apply the tag to Beck, who is back in standing up again.
Without Will Pendergrass and a struggling Mason Greer, watch for Johnson and Posey to get a lot more action at that first base bag.
Beck takes off. Pitch is rolled towards Toplansky at third. It hugs the line as he waits for it on a few hops and throws across the diamond to Jack Johnson to complete the out. They go 5-3 to end the top of the first inning. Incarnate Word puts one man on the base paths, but they can't do anything with it as Mason Green pitches a scoreless top of the first frame. Bears coming up to bat for the first time when we return on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Bottom of the first inning, scoreless top half of the first frame thrown by Mason Green. And now the Bears will be digging in to face Hunter Hargett on for a start this season. For Incarnate Word, it'll be his third start of the year. He's thrown 11 innings so far, allowed 10 earned runs, 8 walks to 14 strikeouts, and an 8.18 ERA. And how will the Bears line up against him today, Foster?
Similar lineup to what we've seen. A lot of lefties in this lineup with the right-handed arm in the on the mound. Enzo Apodaca leads things off, followed by Ty Johnson in the 2-hole, and Wesley Jordan hitting third. Get used to that 1-2-3 punch, as Mitch Thompson is going to go back to it again and again after finding success. Doing the cleanup is the second baseman Daniel Altman. Hunter Toplansky, switch hitter, hits 5. Zach Mazok back in the DH spot, hitting 6. And 7 through 9, Jack Johnson, Tariq Kemp, and Cortland Castle rounding it out.
Apodaca will lead off. Bears wearing the golden tops with the green Bears lettering across the front with white trim around the letters and numbers. They got a number on the front left side of that uniform as well, green lettering on the back. And now Enzo Apodaca stands in, all white pants with the green piping down either side and green belt. And with the all red barreled bat, he digs in from the left side and watches a fastball go by Hunter Hargett. Misses, it's 1-0.
Incarnate, we're learning something as you see the second baseman, sorry to cut you off, Joe. Tony DeJesus is already on the outfield grass, and that's where Enzo's hit it a couple of times at over 100 miles an hour.
1-0. Watches it go by beneath his knees. He's ahead 2-0. That must help his mentality, too, getting ahead in these counts. I know we saw his first 3 at-bats yesterday with the exit velocity on his outs all over 100 miles an hour, and he was 0 for 3. Now awaiting the 2-0 from Hunter Hargett from the windup, kicks and deals. Low and inside, but called to strike 1, 2-1. Yeah, DeJesus plays deep at second, as does the shortstop Grant Randall. Randall getting the start at third yesterday, back at short as that's where he was on Friday night. Ryder Hernandez got the start on Friday night, didn't get the start on Saturday, but back there at third today. 2-1 pitch, fought off into center field, gets down for a base hit. Apodaca sees 4 pitches from Hargett, and he's able to lift one into center for a base knock, first of the day for the Bears.
Yeah, maybe a change of tune. You talked about that exit velocity north of 100 miles an hour, but you put it perfectly. Just fighting off a pitch, just plunked it. A soft 70-mile-an-hour exit velocity off a 90-mile-an-hour fastball that he just kind of hops over into the outfield. Nothing too special, but getting the job done.
Yeah, not a bad pitch from Hargett, trying to jam him clearly, and he does so. But just a really nice piece of hitting there from Apodaca. Takes a big lead at first, trying to get Hargett to pay attention to him instead of Ty Johnson, who digs in and takes strike 1. Being held on at first by Ryan Scott. Third straight start there today on the weekend series for him. Incarnate Word wearing red tops with black lettering, UIW etched across the front of it. A number on the front left as well with black socks. As Hargett working from the stretch now, he slide steps home. Johnson swings and sends a high fly ball to the left side. That'll creep out of play past third base. 0-2 the count to Johnson. He's put together a really good series, 4 for 8 so far, has scored 4 runs. And RBI has walked twice as well. Getting on base, something the Bears have done really well in this series and across this 5-game win streak, I should say. Apodaca short lead at first. Hargett comes set. Looks over at first. Now he kicks home. Breaking ball, mashed into the ground towards second. DeJesus flips to short for 1, and the throw on to first is in time by the shortstop Grant Randall. So a 4-6-3 double play. A nice job by Incarnate Word to respond after Enzo Apodaca led off the bottom of the first with a single. 2 gone with the bases empty.
Put barrel to baseball, just hit it right where DeJesus was, and he's been a surefire second baseman out there. No errors this weekend, and even robbing some hits from the Bears. That was right to him, and easy enough to turn 2.
Infield playing way deep here for Wesley Jordan, rightfully so. Couple home runs on the weekend. Pair of homers in yesterday's game, both over 410 feet. First pitch he sees. Low and away, called strike 1. So this is a much different first inning than we've seen the last 2 days, Foster. Just 7 pitches thrown so far. He's 2 pitches away from getting out of the inning as Hargett. Now he turns and throws from the windup. 0-1 to Jordan. Breaking ball over the outer edge, called strike 2. Maybe a questionable call there from the home plate umpire, but Hargett gets it. It's 0-2.
Baylor scored 7 runs in the first inning across those first 2 ball games, and like you said, they're almost ready to score none.
From the windup, Hargett's ready. The 0-2 is on the way. This one too far low and outside of the breaking pitch. Hargett misses at 79. Umpiring crew today, Michael Durantes calls the balls and strikes behind the plate. John Wolf is at first. Andrew Fulton standing behind second base, and Shaler Smith is at third. Jordan awaits from the right side. Big righty-on-righty matchup here. Infield, outfield playing deep. 1-2 pitch. Here it comes. Misses up high. Gets back to the backstop. That's something that's also been consistent here from Jordan this weekend, Foster, being able to work counts, fouling a lot of pitches off, and being selective up there. But you can tell he really wants to swing when he's up at the plate. Playing in left field today. And the 2-2. Low and outside, just misses with the fastball at 92. Does Hargett, count runs full.
That's the hardest pitch that Hargett, the 6'2" righty, has thrown, and I guess this is the right guy to throw velocity to. You got to blow it by Jordan, or he'll blow it by you.
Hargett's ready. The payoff pitch. Here it comes. Fastball shot on the ground to the right side, barely foul past the outstretched arms of Ryan Scott, the first baseman. Hugged to the line, but a foot to the right of it, so Jordan stays alive. Pretty rare to see him late on a pitch. Most of his foul balls being struck down that left field line. Of course, hit the top of the scoreboard and hit the light pole just to the right of it with a pair of home runs yesterday. Here's the 3-2 again from Hargett. Down low in the dirt with the breaking pitch. And Wesley Jordan's on his way to first, a full count walk. Good battle there up at the plate to extend this inning, Foster.
An underrated part of Wesley Jordan's game. When you think of power hitters in the big leagues, say Kyle Schwarber, Joey Gallo, guys that are swinging for the fences, their eye is usually really elite. That's something you're looking for. If you're swinging for the fences, you'll strike out a lot, but you also see pitches that you don't like and allow walks. So Jordan doing a nice job of that. 5 home runs, and he's got an on-base percentage north of 600 in this series after earning the walk.
Yeah, about .430 on the season, too. Pretty good if you're a power guy. First pitch to Daniel Altman gets in, 0-1. Talk about guys who are having a great series. This is one of them. And a great couple of weeks as he's elevated himself to the second-best batting average on the team at .338. Second best to Enzo Apodaca, who's at .355. And he shoots one foul down the left field line and out of play. 0-2 to Altman.
Yeah, you talked about it. Altman didn't have a hit on Friday night's game. He went 0 for 1 with 3 walks and a hit by pitch, and then yesterday comes across with a 3-hit ball game. So on the weekend, he's reached in 7 of his 10 plate appearances while also scoring 4 runs and knocking in a couple more.
Really settled in nicely to that number 4 spot, or at least just the middle of the order where he's been these last few games. 0-2, Jordan fakes the steal. Gregson is up with it. The pitch was in the dirt, but no throw.
Wesley Jordan is second on the team in stolen bases, a perfect 3 for 3 on the year for the big fella.
That went on Friday night. Is that right?
Yes,
Short lead. Short lead at first. See if he's going here. 1-2 the count to Altman from the left side, righty on left. Fakes the steal again. Altman ticks it foul off the screen right towards Hunter Toplansky, who's on deck.
Well, you don't want the third out of the inning to be caught stealing at second base. I mean, you wouldn't frown at Daniel Altman leading off the second frame, but I think Jordan is really doing that to throw off the timing of the catcher if Altman were to swing and miss or tip something back.
He's ready. Fake steal again. Rolled over towards first. Easy play for Ryan Scott. Gloves it right in front of his face and taps on the bag easily. Makes the play unassisted. So the Bears, just like Incarnate were, they'll leave 1 on the base paths in the first frame. We go to the top of the second inning. Still scoreless from the ballpark.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Top of the second inning, still scoreless from the Baylor ballpark, and Mason Green is on the mound again. He threw just 11 pitches in that first frame. Glove shielding his face, not letting Tony DeJesus get too much time in the box before throwing that first one. It's 72 on the gun, low and inside. 1-0 to DeJesus. Sophomore out of San Diego, California, batting .279 on the year. From the right side, takes low and in, called strike one. 1-1 to DeJesus, gets his third straight start of the weekend at second base. Made 14 starts there last year as a freshman. From the right side, 1-1 pitch, rolled over towards short. Tyree Kemp on the backhand, waits for it, now throws on the move, and gets Tony DeJesus at first easily. 3 pitches and 1 gone for Mason Green in this second inning. I'll bring up J.D. Gregson, entered this series at a .311 clip, now batting .313. Gregson's seen it well compared to the rest of the guys in this order. .333 on the weekend, 2 for 6. Cuts and misses at a fastball up and away. Cam Cayley leads this series with 4 hits for Incarnate Word. Gregson's right behind him with 2. Daniel Calabrese has 2 as well. Here's a hot shot deep into right center field. Back on it, Johnson towards the track. He's going to settle under it and pull it down on the warning track for out number 2. Gregson gives it a ride, nearly has himself his 7th home run of the season, but the Baylor ballpark holds it, and there's 2 gone in the second frame.
Center fielder Ty Johnson definitely thought that one was going to die a lot quicker. We saw in the bottom of the first inning, wind was blowing the flag in dead center field straight towards home plate, and the ball wasn't carrying, but that time it did. The wind is kind of dead. Flagpole just leaning down, so we'll see how that sticks up.
Green's first pitch to Sam Tormes from the windup. Can't find the zone as it bounces 3 feet in front of home plate. Big hole in the middle of the infield for Tormes. The corners are playing closer to the lines, maybe not so much at first. Ty Johnson's far off the line there, but a big gap between Daniel Altman and Tyree Kemp in the middle of the infield as the fastball dials in for Green in the bottom half, 1-1.
Yeah, a little bit of shift on the right fielder, and he's been working his way into the starting lineup for Incarnate Word.
1-1. Taken in the dirt again. 2 balls, 1 strike. Yeah, didn't get the start on Friday night, but entered as a defensive substitution and pinch hitter. And then got the start in yesterday's game. He's 1 for 5 on the series. And the next pitch is low and outside. 2-1 to him. He's batting .231 on the year.
It's his 3rd start of the season.
3-1. Taken low and inside, ball 4. So Tormes has himself a walk. He reaches for the 3rd time this series. Had a walk in yesterday's game, and that on-base percentage continues to improve for him. So another 2-out base runner for Incarnate Word in back-to-back innings. Green's thrown 21 pitches so far. High leg kick. He moves home from the stretch. Right-handed hitting Daniel Calabrese watches it go above his head, 1-0.
I will note, this Incarnate Word dugout, almost a bullpen, but they're a lot rowdier than they have been these past couple of games, and the big reason for that is Baylor set the tone early, and now they have the opportunity to do so here.
1-0. Calabrese ticks it foul straight back into the screen.
There's nothing Mitch Thompson despises more than a rowdy dugout and acting like it's Little League. He likes the professionalism, and I think that's something that even gets in the way of his Baylor squad. You look at these guys, when there's a rowdy dugout, things start to just not go your way. So Baylor trying to work through that and also kind of set the tone so they can work out in front and build confidence.
Yeah, Green trying to silence that Incarnate Word dugout. Roll over grounder towards Steplansky at third. It's in foul ground, though. Calabrese behind 1-2. One of 3 Incarnate Word Cardinals to have more than 1 hit this weekend. He's 2 for 7. Just 2 singles, nothing much else to show for it as he sends a high fly ball back to the right out of play and foul ground. That'll meet the net. This is Calabrese's 3rd year at Incarnate Word. Just a 196 average last year, played in 36 games, made 30 starts. And then last summer went on to play in the West Coast League for the Edmonton Riverhawks up in Canada, Alberta. 1-2. Rolled over sharply towards Kemp at short. Going to make the easy play to second. Altman is there. They get the lead runner there. And that's going to conclude the top of the 7th inning. Still scoreless as we move into the bottom half of this frame. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Part of the lineup coming up to bat in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Hunter Toplansky, Zach Mazok, and Jack Johnson will grab a bat and swing against Hunter Hargett. On for Incarnate Word. Worked a scoreless frame his last time out. Gave up a hit, walked one, but they left one on the base paths. And the first pitch to Hunter Toplansky is in there for strike one. Toplansky, a really great series, 4 for 6 entering this AB, 4 driven in, 3 runs scored. Of course, had that long home run in the first inning of game 1. 0-1. Gets a hold of this one, sends it past the diving Ryan Scott at first into right field. A leadoff single for the Bears, back-to-back innings where they put the leadoff man on.
After that base hit, Hunter Toplansky 5 for 7 in the at-bat column and add on 1 walk and 2 hit by pitches. He's reached in 8 of 10 plate appearances against Incarnate Word. That's a big way to flip around his season. On top of that, no strikeouts for Hunter Toplansky. He just keeps on drilling.
Takes his lead at first, the batting gloves resting in his left hand. See if he gets into his secondary here or maybe does that fake steal. First pitch from Hunter Hargett, low and outside to Zach Mazok. He takes 1-0.
I think that's just the Wesley Jordan thing. No one steals it better than Wes.
I mean, a guy who can steal bases like that. You said second on the team?
Second on the team.
Here's another guy who can steal bases, Zach Mazok. Toplansky fakes the steal. It's fouled straight back to the backstop.
Yeah, it's just a Baylor baseball thing. They like to fake that steal towards second, and although they don't have too much speed, Toplansky 1 for 1 in that column. You're just really looking to get in the pitcher's head, try and make them think about something else, force a slide step towards the plate because they're scared of a steal.
He does slide step home. Breaking pitch on the outer half. Strike 2, I should say. After that foul ball. Looked like that one was pretty much the same exact location as the first pitch in this count. That missed low and outside. So now Mazok is down 1-2. He's batting .385 on the year, 10 hits, 8 driven in. Still looking for that first homer. Middle infielder's pinching the bag at second. He fans through a high fastball for strike 3. So Mazok goes down on strikes. Nice job by Hargett to respond after giving up that leadoff single. And it brings up Jack Johnson. Middle infielders will still be looking for that double play ball. Tony DeJesus communicating with Grant Randall right now. Close to their bags at second. Third baseman Hernandez is even with third. And Ryan Scott holds Toplansky on at first. Jack Johnson watches one go way outside in the other batter's box, 1-0. So Johnson entered his AB last night, having No hits on the season. And then knocked his first career home run as a Baylor Bear. Now Toplansky will take off. Hit and run play as Johnson skies it down the right field line. Making his way over is the right fielder Tormus. It's just out of his reach. Barely creeps onto that grassy berm. Maybe it didn't even get there, like between the wall and where the berm starts. So maybe 3 feet of space there. Luckily for Jack Johnson, as Tormus was unable to get there in time.
Yes, a sigh of relief. And Hunter Toplansky didn't retreat back to the bag instantly and might have thought about it. As Tormus runs into the wall, you could have, if he tumbles, tag up from first to second.
Jack Johnson, just his 3rd at-bat of the season right here. Quick check on first. Toplansky has to dive back in safely. Hard throw over by Hunter Hargett. Over at Ryan Scott, got to be careful. Scott doesn't let that one creep by down the right field line. Toplansky, a 5-step lead at first. Middle infielders back. Corners are in. 1-1 pitch to Jack Johnson. Here it comes. Up and inside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
In 3 plate appearances this year, Johnson's really done it all. He's got a home run, a walk, and a strikeout. So he's trying to find some separation, also find a groove. He's a guy who had a pretty good freshman year last year, and he looks to capitalize on that as he gets more playing time now that he's fully healthy here in 2024.
On the right side of the batter's box, an upright stance. Slight wiggle of the bat over the right shoulder. Rolls one over towards third. Third baseman Hernandez has to leap up over the line. He gets a piece of it, pops out of his glove, but the third base ump says that one's just foul. That would have been a tough one to score. High hop, not an easy play to make, but tough to tell if that would have gone down as a single for Johnson or not. Would have been his 2nd hit of the year.
It's probably one you're not supposed to touch if you're the third baseman Hernandez in case it is fair. You bloop it foul, and that could just spur a whole lot of disaster. Single at the least.
2-2 offering to Johnson from Hargett. Here it comes. Breaking pitch, fanned at and missed. Strike 3. Jack Johnson goes down on strikes for the 2nd time this year. And with Hunter Toplansky still on first, here comes Tyreek Kemp. Back-to-back strikeouts for Hargett.
Baylor struck out once on Friday, twice yesterday, and they've already struck out twice here, and we're not out of the 2nd inning. So Hunter Hargett taking tips from the rest of the staff and using them to his advantage.
Middle infielders back. Corners are still in for Tyreek Kemp. 2 gone in the inning. Takes up and away on the 88-mile-an-hour fastball from Hunter Hargett. 1-0.
Well, Hargett hasn't been great all year. 12 hits in 12 2/3, giving up 10 runs. He's really capitalized with 2 outs. Batters hitting just 100 against him. This is where he's shown that he can grow into a better pitcher.
This is his 7th appearance on the season, taken down by the knees of Tyreek Kemp. Good eye by him, 2-0. Yeah, he's coming off a 2-inning appearance against UTSA last week. Walked 1, struck out 3, gave up no hits. So those 3 earned runs coming in just 3 appearances for him. 6 against Tarleton State back in February. Played against Louisiana Monroe, allowed an earned run there, and then 3 earned runs against Prairie View A&M, and then nearly a month off before that appearance at UTSA as the next pitch missed low in the zone to Tyreek Kemp. 3-0. So it's kind of been 1 step forward, 1 or 2 steps back this season for Hunter Hargett. He's set with the 3-0 pitch to Kemp, gets over top, but it's just above the zone. A 4-pitch walk to Tyreek Kemp. He tosses his equipment towards the third base dugout, and he walks on first.
3rd walk of the series for Kemp. Only 1 hit, still trying to find his rhythm at the plate. He's put a lot of balls in play, has not struck out this series, so that's been the biggest plus for Tyreek Kemp. He's putting the ball in play even if he's not getting base hits and not really helping the pitchers out any when they're down 2-0, 3-0. He'll work that walk, and now Baylor has speed at first base, and Hunter Toplansky is a plus runner at second.
Yeah, runners on first and second. Big hole on the right side of the infield for Cortland Castle, right-handed swinging catcher out of Woodway. And the junior takes strike 1 on the breaking pitch from Hargett. 0-1, shortstop playing between second and third. Grant Randall, close to the line at third is Ryder Hernandez, 8 feet back of the bag. Deep at first is Ryan Scott. Now we're going to get a time called from the pitcher. Hargett steps off, and he's ready to go with the Ball in his bare right hand. It meets the leather of his black glove above his belt. Takes a deep breath, looks back at Toplansky at second. Now he slide steps home. Off-speed pitch. Ticked foul high to the right, out of play. It's off that metal canopy. 0-2 the count to Castle. Back in the 9th spot in the order. Batted 7th on Friday night. 9th yesterday. He's 1 for 5 on the series. Driven in 1 run. Scored 1 run.
2 sacrifice bunts as well.
Can lay that down really well. 0-2 count to him, though. Likely won't be doing that here. This is outside.
Yeah, one of those was nearly an infield single yesterday from Castle as he laid down a nice bunt, just put a little bit too much gas on it to first, but a deep infield, not going to do it with 2 strikes, but maybe if it was a 2-1 count, you'd see Castle try and lay one down for a base hit.
Bit more squatted down stance this time from Castle. Bat waving over his right shoulder, ties him up. It's fouled back into the screen. 1-2, he stays alive. So you see him step in with mostly an upright batting stance, kind of just standing straight up, maybe similar to a Cody Bellinger, but from the right side. But now it seems like he's kind of widening that stance a little bit, squatting down a bit more than usual. In the back of that right-handed batter's box. 1-2 the count to him. Here's the 38th pitch on the afternoon from Hargett. Gets by the catcher Gregson, back to the screen. Both runners will move up into scoring position. Kemp to second, Toplansky to third. And now with 2 gone, the Bears are threatening.
Talked to Cole Posey after Friday night and asked what the different mentality is with 2 strikes. And he said, we call them sick'em swings. It's just put the paw over your heart and don't give up. Just keep fighting. And I think that's something you've seen across the lineup. They'll switch up their approach with 2 strikes because they want to make contact. Wesley Jordan's really the only guy who gets the okay to swing for the fences with 2 strikes. For the rest of the guys, it is, hey, you're trying to make contact, not necessarily hard contact, but when you put bat on ball, good things will happen, and that's kind of been the transition this year with that sick'em swing mentality.
He's done a good job staying alive here. The mound visit between the catcher and pitcher concludes. Runners are on second and third. 2-2 pitch. Here it comes from Hargett. Castle swings and sends a high fly ball on the infield. Gets into foul ground, making his way over is Gregson towards the dugout. Bobbles it at first, but then he regathers it right in front of the entrance to the dugout there and has it for out number 3. So it pounds off of the inside of his glove, and then he has to regather it, retrieve it, make a underhand grab at his midsection to retire the side. Bears will put 2 runners in scoring position. They don't score any, though. 0-0 your score. We move to the top of the third on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
We move to the top of the third inning on Baylor Lariat Radio. Baylor Bears back out there on the field. Mason Green steps onto the back of the rubber. They'll be facing 9-1-2 in the Incarnate Word order. First pitch is a hot shot down the third base line. Third base coach for Incarnate Word had to get out of the way of that one, as Ryder Hernandez is now behind 0-1. attacked the first pitch he saw from Mason Green. It was an 87-mile-an-hour pitch, low and inside. Now we're going to have a stoppage. That one got all the way down to the left field corner, Foster. Someone from the Baylor dugout's going to have to go grab it. Takes the easy way out, just pops into the bullpen. 0-1. Hernandez watches a long turner, 76 miles an hour. Starts up high in the zone, falls in, 0-2.
Hernandez really struggled with strikeouts on Friday night, 0 for 3 with 3 of them.
From the right side, he awaits the 0-2 pitch. Ahead of this one, 2 hops to Tyree Kemp at short. Up with it, throwing to first. Johnson has it for out number 1.
Although Hernandez doesn't have the best bat, now hitting .225 after the ground out. The reason he's out there, he's one of the best defensive third basemen, especially in the Southlands Conference. Showed off a little bit of leather on Friday night, some diving plays, sliding plays, also a cannon of an arm at third base, what you look for when you recruit guys to play third base at this collegiate level.
Lineup card flips back over to Cam Cayley, takes low and outside, 82 miles an hour on the gun from Green. 30th pitch from Green, too, here in the top of the third inning. Working really quickly. Here's the next one. Cayley sends it straight back up the middle to deep center field. Tracking back, Johnson in front of the track pulls it down. 2 gone, gets Cam Cayley for the second time today. Here's Grant Randall. He struck out his first time up. Mason Green starting to cruise through this outing. Coming off a 4-inning appearance against Cincinnati last weekend. First pitch to Grant Randall down in the zone. He checked his swing. They'll check at first, but he didn't go. Allowed 3 earned runs on 3 hits, walked 2, struck out 6. Here's the 1-0. Fly ball down the right field line towards the berm. Going to get out of play right at the parking lot. 1-1 the count. Went 4 innings against Cincinnati, responding after an inning appearance where he gave up 5 earned at Texas. Before that, was pitching really well, came off his best appearance of the season. Next pitch was low and away to Randall, 2-1. 6 innings pitched, allowed just 2 hits, no earned runs, and would have continued in that game against Tech had there not been a weather delay. This one's lined straight back up the middle by the ear of Mason Green, right over his shoulder into center field for a base hit, a comeback or single with 2 gone.
Well, just swatted. He went curveball like you'd said, 76, and then relayed right back up the middle at 92.7 miles an hour. And Green just turning his back and ducking his head. And I'm sure, you know, a scary play. You can feel the whoosh of the wind as it clears your noggin, but he's got to stay back in it. And this is a favorable matchup for Green, although he's facing a 400 hitter at the plate, left on left.
Yeah, lefty on lefty matchup from the left side is Dalton Beck. He tips it foul off the end of his bat, spins towards the Baylor on deck circle on the third base side. Beck, a junior out of Frisco, Texas. You mentioned a 400 clip. Bears have done a good job shutting him down this weekend. But of course, with that home run and a single back in the first inning. So that was the only hit on the board for Incarnate Word today until that Grant Randall single. Mason Green hasn't been able to get through an inning so far without giving up at least 1 base runner. Next pitch is off the end of the bat. Rolling foul by Dalton Beck. It'll bounce back in foul ground. 0-2 to him. Yeah, so he got 2 quick outs in the top of the first, a fly out and a strikeout, and then gave up the single to Beck, who's at the plate right now. Then 2 quick outs in the top of the second, 2, ground out and a fly out, followed by Sam Tormas's walk, and then he was able to get out of that frame, and now 2 quick outs here in the third. And then a Grant Randall single. They check back at him on first. He's back in standing up. 0-2 the count to Beck, though. Green a chance to pick up his second strikeout of the afternoon. The 38th pitch is upcoming. He comes set with the tan glove above his belt, and he'll check at first again. Beck started off this season 11 of his first 21 at-bats with 10 RBIs. 3 of those 11 hits went for home runs. 0-2 pitch up and inside. He leans back away from it, 1-2.
Believe it or not, he doesn't even lead the team in home runs. He's got 5 of them after punching 1 out on Friday night, but Cam Cayley and then the catcher J.D. Gregson with 6. So this has been a power-friendly lineup.
Beck's behind 0-2. 1 and 2, I should say, and Mason Green will look at first again. Trying to keep Grant Randall honest over there. Randall is 5 for 6 in the stolen base category this season. Have to assume Dalton Beck has a good eye up there, given he is a two-way player. 1-2 pitch, fouled straight back into the net. Has made few appearances on the mound this year, just over 8 innings pitched, 8 1/3, allowed 8 earned runs, has an 8.64 ERA. So clearly his numbers as a batter, a bit better than when he's in the box. 1-2, going to have to wait again. Green checks at first once again in this at-bat, really trying to keep Randall close. He hasn't had to dive back into first safely at all. He's just back in standing up each time. He's had to have checked on him at least 3 times with 2 strikes in this count to Beck. So look over there again. Beck's a transfer out of Kent State. Started 3 games there as a pitcher last year. Really high ERA, though, 14.29. Then transitioned to a batter at Incarnate Word. Next pitch is in the dirt. Runner's going to try to advance to second. The throw from Castle as he regathers is not going to be in time. Head first dive in safely is Grant Randall. Not going to be a stolen base there for Randall, though. Gets away from Castle, and it's a wild pitch thrown from Mason Green. 2-2 the count to Dalton Beck. So all this time he was checking on the runner there, but nonetheless he's going to make his way to second. Not with a stolen base, but with a mishap on the throw from Green. Next pitch is up and inside, and the count's run full.
Yeah, Green's getting in his own head. He was too many pickoffs, way too many pickoffs to first base, just trying to regather his confidence to figure out how he wants to attack Beck, and now it seems like he's kind of throwing away from him.
Big shift to the right side of the infield for the left-handed hitting Beck. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Gets a piece of it off the end of the bat and rolls it towards the Baylor dugout.
This is a guy who is definitely dangerous to attack, but if you don't attack him, like you had mentioned, a great eye. Beck's not going to chase too much, so Green still needs his A-plus stuff, and at this point, 2 outs, full count. You ignore the runner on second base. If he goes, you're hoping that it's a foul tip or something like that. You can't stop it at this point.
The payoff pitch again. Green deals, fouled straight back. Really great battle here worked by Dalton Beck. And Mason Green is up to 43 pitches on the outing. Daniel Altman plays deep at second. He's in the shallow right field grass. Tyreek Kemp is closer to the bag at second, maybe about 10 feet to the left of it, playing deep behind it. Jack Johnson's deep at first. Hunter Toplansky at normal depth third. The 3-2 pitch comes again, and it's a fastball that's ticked foul high and out of play, down towards the light pole. Over the third base bag. Another foul ball from Dalton Beck.
10th pitch of the at-bat upcoming.
Really having to make Mason Green work. He's got 23 strikeouts on the season. 1 in this outing, about to complete his 28th inning of work, but it's going to have to wait as it's fouled off the glove of Cortland Castle and back to the backstop. 3-2 it remains.
Finishing off batters hasn't been too much of an issue for Green, but he had 35 pitches on the afternoon coming into this at-bat. Now he's at 45, awaiting 46.
He comes set, the 3-2 home. Barely gets a piece of it, does Beck. Has to reach out over the outside part of the plate. A nice pitch from Mason Green. He knows he could have had strike 3 there, but just a really good piece of hitting by Dalton Beck. Sees it all the way in and makes just a little bit of contact to remain up there. This will be the 47th from Mason Green. Here it comes. Low and outside, ball 4. What a great at-bat worked by Dalton Beck. Over 10 pitches after he was down 0-2. And now they'll have runners on first and second with 2 gone for Ryan Scott.
Well, he tossed that bat backwards towards the dugout as if Mason Green had just pumped him in the head. I mean, just the amount of swagger on that. Like, he knows how big that was. That was a 12-pitch walk that he just drew against a very young freshman pitcher who's been having success against this lineup so far. He knows how big that is. I mean, now Green probably in his head, and that's why Coach James Leverton's coming out there. The combination of 12 pitches plus 5-6 pickoffs towards first base during that at bat alone, you get the wild pitch, advance to second. It just nothing was really going right for Green there, and that's why Leverton comes out, talk it over. Everything's okay. Ryan Scott, a dangerous bat coming to the plate, but if you're not throwing strikes, you're not going to have success, even though you see the flurry of foul balls. Eventually, something's going to duck under the bat or sail above it.
Yeah, for a lefty, it's interesting to see a guy be so careful with the runner on first, because usually lefties have such a great move over. And obviously you're looking right at the runner, so I guess if they try to fake you out like the Baylor batters do in the base path, then maybe it can get in your head a little bit. Clearly, Green needs to have some calming down as James Leverton makes his way back into the Baylor dugout after the mound meeting, and the first pitch to Ryan Scott misses up and away. Scott been a high on-base guy this season, back down to a 382 clip on the year, though. Entered above 400 on the season. Entering this series, fouls it off of his front leg. It's 1-1. Scott's 1 for 6 on the series, has walked once. Coming into this weekend, had reached safely in 20 of 21 starts this season. 34 hits on the year with 5 homers. Got runners on first and second with 2 gone. 1-1. Fastball laced foul over our heads to our right and out of play. Definitely a mentality shift at the box this time around in this inning for Incarnate Word, trying to make Mason Green work a little bit more. He's gotten ahead of counts. 1-2, down in the dirt. Picked up by Cortland Castle. It's 2-2. So Green done an impressive job so far today to throw that first pitch and second pitch strike in the count. But that third one, not too easy to come by. Next pitch is fouled off down the right field line. Going to twist out of play onto the grassy berm. One fan tried to leap and make a catch, but it goes over his right shoulder. Yeah, he misjudged the wind on that one, too. He first step in. Got to see, first step is always back, and then he had to kind of make his way back. Tried to do an over-the-shoulder catch like he was a wide receiver, but
he lost it.
He lost it. Here's the 2-2. Low and outside, not called strike 3. Mason Green thought he might have had it, or maybe he was just getting out of the way because Cortland Castle was about to try to fire a back pick out to second. Grant Randall had a big secondary lead.
That one's on Cortland Castle, though. You cannot do that in a 2-2 count with 2 outs. You stick that landing and maybe you get the call, but that one's on Castle for not giving Green a chance to strike out Ryan Scott.
The 3-2, runners go upstairs. Misses at the chin of Ryan Scott. And Incarnate Word will load the bases here in the top of the third.
With that pitch, Mason Green has thrown more pitches in this inning than it took him to get out of the first 2. Up to 54 on the day.
Yeah, was really efficient through those first 2 frames and the first 2 outs of this third inning, but 3 straight base runners for Incarnate Word, and here's Tony DeJesus.
This will be the 30th pitch of the inning for Mason Green.
Kicks and deals. First pitch swinging is DeJesus. Kemp on the run towards the hole at short. Throws on to get the force out at second. Altman was there to make the play. Nice job by Tyree Kemp in the field to bail out his pitcher as the Incarnate Word Cardinals will leave them stranded in the top of the third frame. 0-0 the score remains as we go into the bottom of the third. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com. And click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
We roll on into the bottom of the third inning. Bears stepping up to the plate with the top of the order coming up in this bottom half of the third frame. It's going to be Enzo Apodaca, Ty Johnson, Wesley Jordan, guys who have done a lot of damage so far this weekend, and you think that Enzo Apodaca is a guy who's ready to have a big game. Already a hit so far.
Hey, I had said Enzo Apodaca is due for it. When it's a down series, when you're hitting 300, I think you know the expectations for a guy like Enzo. After the base hit, he is 4 for 11 this series, 1 run scored, does have a 2-run home run, 3 runs batted in, as well as a walk. So I think no walks, 1 strikeout is the one in that category. But Apodaca, he's someone with high expectations for himself, and he knows what he can do at the plate. Batting average at .355. He's the captain of this team for a reason. I'm expecting a big one from him. How about another 3-hit ball game? It would be his 6th of the year.
1 for 1 today with a single in the first inning. Fights one off towards the Incarnate Word dugout, and that's exactly what he did in the first inning. It was one that was in off his hands, jams him, but is able to stroke it into center. Was a base knock. He saw 3 pitches from Hunter Hargett, who's back out there for his third inning of work. Next pitch bounces in, 1-1. 86 on the gun from Hargett, who's thrown just over 40 pitches now, 41, 17 balls to 24 strikes for him.
After Zach Mazok's strikeout in the second, Apodaca the only guy in the starting lineup with more walks than strikeouts this season.
Hargett's ready from the windup with the 1-1. Third baseman playing in, everybody else back. Here it comes. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike to Apodaca.
And believe it or not, we talked about how Hunter Hargett, with 2 outs, batters are hitting just 100 against him. Compare that to leadoff hitters hitting 500 against Hunter Hargett. Enzo Apodaca is the leadoff hitter in an inning, hitting .476.
And .355 total on the year, leads the team, takes up and away. There's a big reason for it right there. You mentioned the strikeout to walk ratio for him, the amount of hits that he's got at 39. 3-1 the count. He does so because he's got a great eye up there.
I'm liking right field.
Big gap there between the right fielder and the center fielder. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Hargett. He takes over the outer half. Thought he might have had ball 4, but he'll go back, and it's all full.
I still think we should do a broadcast on that pier over in right field. Look over the fence and maybe get hit with a home run ball.
Why not? Apodaca ready, the payoff pitch. Here it comes. Rolled towards first. Scott has to wait for it as it bounces over the bag and going to have to race to first. He beats Apodaca there by 3 steps for out number 1. So Apodaca works it all the way full, but he falls back to 1 for 2 on the day.
Hit to that right side of the field. He just didn't find the gap. Second base and first have been leaving a gap wide open for most of these left-handed batters, or at least they did yesterday and today. Not so much, or rather yesterday and Friday. Not so much today, as you see the first baseman hugging that fair foul line and the second baseman shifting over into the outfield grass to pick up room.
First pitch to Ty Johnson, batting .308 on the season. Swinging a high hop towards first again. Scott waits for it, going to have to use the help of his pitcher this time. Hargett will tap on the bag, receiving the underhand toss seamlessly, and Ty Johnson is 0 for 2. 2 quick outs in the third here for Hargett. So it has just been night and day between the first 2 games and now this game for starting pitching for Incarnate Word. I think both of the starters in the first 2 games were well above 20 pitches in the first frame, and Hargett couldn't be any different. He's been really efficient. And now 2 gone for Wesley Jordan, batting with the bases empty for the second time today. Infield, outfield playing back. Here it comes. Low and outside, ball 1.
Well, I'll tell you how you know this team has confidence with 2 outs. Hunter Toplansky's in the hole. He's after Jordan and Altman, putting his batting gloves on and taking practice swings in the dugout. He believes he's going to get that opportunity.
A pause on the rubber now from Hargett. Now he throws. It's in the dirt, 2-0. Yeah, Jordan worked to walk his first time up. That was with 2 outs in the frame, was the first base runner of this ball game for Baylor. Extending that long on-base streak for him as well. Above 20 games now. From the right side, that red and black bat wiggling above his right shoulder. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Hargett. Breaking ball above the box. It's 3-0. Really tough to pitch to a guy like Wesley Jordan, especially after what we saw him do yesterday and what our fans at home were listening to yesterday, I should say. 3-0. Right down the middle, he gets on top. 3-1 the count. Wesley Jordan can be selective here. That's got to be so huge for him, too. Getting ahead in counts, having that cushion, and being able to look for the pitch that he likes. He's ahead 3-1 right here. 2 gone in the bottom of the third. Here it comes from Hargett. Fastball cut on and missed. Was swinging for the fences there. 3-2 on the 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, I talked to Jordan yesterday, and I said, are you ever just looking to make contact, or does everything have to be hard contact? And he said, I'm looking to make hard contact every single pitch.
The payoff. Up and away. 2 straight walks for Wesley Jordan, and he's aboard with 2 gone in the bottom of the third. Another really great at-bat from Wesley Jordan. Really proving that if you're not going to pitch to him, not going to throw strikes to him, he's going to get on base anyway because he can see it really well. Accepts his second walk of the game. Now takes a short lead at first. Definitely going to go into that fake steal that he was doing last inning, or we assume so. See if he does. Takes a big secondary. Altman fights off the first pitch he sees. That's going to get down for a base hit in left field. Loops into the glove of Calabrese, and now it sneaks under his glove. Going to have to regather as both runners make their way into scoring position.
It'll be a single and then an E7 on Calabrese. As he just went in, and he was already looking towards third base to try and fire it in. Wesley Jordan wasn't going to go, but he was just a couple of steps ahead. Ball boots out of the heel of the glove and rolls to his right. And now the Bears have 2 on in scoring position. And as I said, Toplansky was looking ready when there were just 2 outs in the inning, and now he's getting that shot with 2 on and 2 outs.
Heads up base running there from the Bears, and now for the second time in as many innings, they have runners on second and third with 2 out. Here's Hunter Toplansky, up to a .313 clip on the season. Third baseman Hernandez is playing up at third. Everybody else is back. First pitch from Hunter Hargett. From the stretch, here it comes. It hits him on the right side, and he flings his bat towards the third base dugout in frustration. Rightfully so, as that is the third hit-by-pitch he has taken this weekend.
I think he's getting frustrated, Joe. And not because he's getting hit by the pitch, but because he wants to hit that ball so dang bad with 2 in scoring position. That's a prime RBI opportunity. And you love a free base, but when you're getting dinged in the knee instead of putting one into deep center field, I think that's frustrating. Even if it doesn't go down, if you send one to the warning track, that feels better than a hit by pitch, just confidence-wise.
Zach Mazak is the batter. Toplansky a big lead at first, as does Altman have at second. Jordan shorter at third.
Grand slam.
Mazak from the left side. Takes up and in.
It's been the weekend of grand slams. Baylor had 1.
Yep.
Cole Posey on Friday night. Ryan McMahon on Friday.
Bases juiced for Zach Mazak. You mentioned Toplansky, frustrated. And he was ready, as you said, in the hole, ready to take a bat with 2 outs in the inning when Wesley Jordan was up. Next pitch finds the zone to Mazak. It's 1-1. Jordan worked the walk. Altman got the single. And then Toplansky watched one pitch go by. It hit him in the right leg. 2 gone in the frame. 1-1 the count to Zach Mazak. Still looking for that first home run on the season. Hargett comes set with the black glove above his belt. He takes a deep breath. And now the 1-1 home. Breaking pitch falls in, 1-2. A grand slam would really be fitting here for Zach Mazak. He's been a high contact guy this season. Yet to hit it out of the ballpark. 10 hits on the year, though. 370 clip. Next pitch, up by his head. He watches it go by, 2-2. right in front of his eyes that time. The flag in center field kind of been swirling today. It looks like it's blowing slightly to the right and a little bit back towards right center. Slightly cloudy skies overhead, some blue to our right. Bases are juiced with 2 gone. 2-2 the count to Zach Mazok. He awaits. And now a pitch count violation by the pitcher. It's going to send the count full. Untimely there by Hunter Hargett. With the bases juiced, he had a 2-2 count. Runs out of time there, and it's 3-2 to Zach Mazok. Hargett comes set as a helicopter makes its way shallow over center field. Here it comes. Fought off on the ground towards first. A slow roller that Ryan Scott will wait for. Taps on the bag easily to get out of the jam. And so just as Incarnate Word does in the top of the 3rd inning, the Bears load the bases. They're unable to bring any runs around to score. And 0-0 is the score as we go into the top of the 4th frame. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Top of the 4th inning on Baylor Lariat Radio. Joe Pratt, Foster Nicholas, and Braden Murray are with you. As the Bears trying to keep Incarnate Word right where they're at. 0-0 the score. Both of these teams having opportunities, though. They put runners in scoring position. Both teams loading the bases in the 3rd inning, but we still sit at 0-0. Incarnate Word 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. Baylor 0 for 2. Teams have had opportunities with runners on, but nothing doing, and 3 walks apiece. So they're getting hits, they're getting on base. It's just a matter of bringing these guys around to score. Mason Green's back out there on the mound. He'll be facing J.D. Gregson, who takes an off-speeder at 86. Low and inside, strike 1.
Gregson nearly hit one out of the ballpark in the 2nd inning. Took Johnson all the way back to the warning track.
Yeah, 2 deep fly balls towards center in this game so far for the Cardinals. 0-1 pitch. Dials in 70 miles an hour on the off-speeder there from Mason Green. Right by the front knee of J.D. Gregson, low and inside to the right-handed hitting catcher and junior out of Frisco, Texas. He's back to 0-2. Green ahead in the count once again. Glove in front of his face from the windup. Unfurls it, and it bounces in the dirt, blocked by Cortland Castle. Nice block by him, even though there's nobody on the base paths. You know, we saw last inning Braden Buchanan trot out to behind the dish to warm up Mason Green. He was in full catcher's gear. So we thought maybe Cortland Castle, for whatever reason, was being taken out of this game. We were about to have Braden Buchanan time.
Castle, though, his defense is very good. That's why he's back behind the plate. Only a .250 hitter coming in.
Here's the 1-2. Fastball laced over the head of Tyreek Kemp and into left field for a base hit. J.D. Gregson leads off the top of the 4th for Incarnate Word with a single.
Imagine if you had that guy still on this Baylor baseball team. He's absolutely killing it at Incarnate Word, hitting .316 with 6 home runs, 26 RBI, and as we mentioned on Friday night, yeah, he was a Baylor commit. Only played a couple of games in his freshman season with the green and gold before transferring out.
Yeah, played in 2 games and then went on to play at Grayson College, 31 games there, hit .361. Takes a short lead at first, and then in 2023 moved on to Texas A&M. First pitch to Sam Tormos, backs him up off the plate, a fastball low and inside.
One-year contracts.
Yeah, just a one-year contract guy, hopping around a bunch of different places. 7 games at A&M last year, and just a 227 average. So entering this season for Incarnate Word, he had just 27 plate appearances. Hard hit on the ground towards Kemp at short. Flips to second for one. Altman's throw on to first. High, but it's in time for out number 2, I should say, as they pick up the double play there to respond right after J.D. Gregson led off this frame with a single. 4-6-3. Go the Bears. That brings up Daniel Calabrese.
Second double play worked by this Baylor infield. Rather, first. They've been doubled up once by Incarnate Word.
First pitch skips into Daniel Calabrese. Castle tries to get his body in front of it. Has to slide over, looking to make a sprawling save. Skips over his left shoulder, though, back to the backstop. 1-0 the count to Daniel Calabrese. Middle infielders playing back with their heels on the outfield grass. Medium depth are the corners, and the next pitch squeezes through the wickets of Castle again. 2-0. Calabrese just a 196 average last year. Of course, as mentioned earlier, went on to play in the West Coast League up in Edmonton, 211 in 44 games there. Next pitch is up and away, 3-0 to him. I'm not really sure what he figured out up there last summer in 44 games, but he returns back down to Incarnate Word this season and is now hitting at a 342 clip, or was entering this game. Now hitting 333 as he takes low in the zone for strike one. 3-1. 14 hits this season and now 42 at-bats, so just 8 hits less than what he had a year ago at Incarnate Word and 71 less at-bats. Cuts through a off-speeder from Mason Green. It's 3-2. So Calabrese really figuring things out here at Incarnate Word in this junior season for him. He bats from the right side. He's facing a 3-2 for Mason Green. Lifts it over the head of Tyreek Kemp and into left field, a base hit. A full count, 2-out base knock for Daniel Calabrese, and he's aboard for Ryder Hernandez.
Making the inning go on a little bit more than it has to. Mason Green, of course, allowed the bases loaded last inning with 2 outs. Batters rating just 154 against him with 2 outs coming into this outing. A single, a walk, and a walk last inning, and then a couple of singles this inning. One of them coming with 2 outs is going to prompt Mitch Thompson to trot out to the mound and signal the bullpen.
Yeah, we'll have a new pitcher from the Baylor ballpark. Mason Green's day is done. Nearly completes 4 innings of work, I should say. He goes 3 2/3, allows 4 hits. Nobody came across yet. Of course, the runner on first would be his responsibility if Calabrese was able to come around and score, and Ryder Hernandez, the 9-man in this order, would be able to extend this inning. Or we're going to have a new pitcher on for the Bears entering in the top of the 4th inning. It's going to be Steven Sepulveda, the freshman, on to make another appearance on this season for the Bears, and we'll tell you more about him and bring you the rest of this top of the 4th frame when we return on Baylor Lariat Radio. Still 0-0 your score from the Baylor ballpark.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
New pitcher in for the Bears, Steven Sepulveda, as Incarnate Word puts up 2 hits in this top of the 4th inning. A leadoff single by J.D. Gregson, then Sam Tormos grounded into a 4-6-3 double play. Daniel Calabrese extended the inning, though, by knocking his first hit of the day against Mason Green, and that will be the day for Mason Green. And now on for the Bears, Foster, Steven Sepulveda, hot off an incredible outing on Tuesday night against Houston Christian.
Yeah, he's done just about everything that you'd want from a freshman, getting that experience and having a dazzling outing. Career high in strikeouts as he shut down 6 in a row by way of the K. Enters now with Calabrese taking a short lead at first with the red batting gloves on. And he'll be facing Ryder Hernandez from the right side. First pitch to him, lifted into right center field, trailing away from Ty Johnson. That gets down for a base hit. Johnson cuts it off before the wall, spins and throws in. Calabrese charging in from third. He will dive in and score safely. An RBI double for Ryder Hernandez, picks up his 16th driven in on the season, and a 2-out double makes it a 1-0 game for Incarnate Word. For that swing from Hernandez, he hadn't had a whole lot of hard contact this whole series, hadn't had a base hit, but no better time as that puts Incarnate Word on top here in the top of the first inning at 1-0. 1 pitch, 1 run, and Steven Sepulveda welcome to this game by Ryder Hernandez, lacing one all the way to deep right center field. He gets on top over Cameron Cayley, though, as the first pitch gets him to swing and miss. 82 on the gun, 0-1 to Cayley, who's 0 for 2. Closes the line on Mason Green. 3 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and 1 strikeout. Next pitch, taken low and inside. Nice backhand stab by Cortland Castle to keep it in front. 2 1/3 scoreless innings on Tuesday night for Steven Sepulveda against Houston Christian. Struck out the first 6 batters he faced, 7 strikeouts in total for Sepulveda. Next pitch to Cayley, 1-1, shot foul down the left field line, out of play. Yeah, it was the first player to do that since the 2000s. So you have Sepulveda doing that, and then you have Colin McKinney yesterday, who became the first Baylor pitcher since 2007 and 8 to record back-to-back 10 strikeout games. So these guys, these freshmen, are rewriting the history books. He comes set with the glove in front of his face, looking back at second, high leg kick delivery home. It gets away from Castle back to the backstop. Hernandez moves up to third. Castle regathers on the wild pitch from Sepulveda. It's 2-2. Yeah, it was the first time since March 24th, 2007 that a Baylor pitcher fanned 6 consecutive hitters. Randall Linebaugh and Willie Kemp combined to do it at Texas Tech. So that was 2 pitchers who did it. Sepulveda did it all on his own, 6 straight Ks. Looks over at third. That's where Hernandez stands now after the wild pitch. Here's the 2-2 to Cayley. Reaches out over the plate and stays alive as he ticks it foul back to the net. Big gap in the middle of the infield. Tyree Kemp plays a normal depth short. Altman slightly closer to the hole at second. Toplansky's off the line at third. Johnson's 8 feet off it at first and deep. Center fielder Johnson playing slightly towards the left center field alleyway. Here's the 2-2. Rolled on the ground towards first. Johnson waits for it on 3 hops. He'll take it himself to retire the side. Ryder Hernandez is stranded on third, but Incarnate Word gets the first runs of the game on an RBI double. They take a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the 4th. You're listening to Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com. And Click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Bottom of the fourth inning, and now Baylor is trailing 1-0. Incarnate Word getting one run off of Ryder Hernandez's RBI double into the right center field alleyway. That scored Daniel Calabrese, and they take a 1-0 lead. They grab the first runs of the game for the second time in this weekend series, but the first time that happened Friday night, Baylor responded with a grand slam in the bottom of the first inning to take a 4-2 lead, and they'll be looking for more of that, needless to say, as we move here into the bottom of the fourth, Foster.
Yeah, Baylor hasn't had to respond to a whole lot. They've been the ones setting the tone, and now you're looking similar to Friday night where Incarnate Word scores 2, you respond with 13 unanswered. Don't need 13, but need some sort of action here.
Jack Johnson takes low and away for ball 1. He's facing Dave Johnson, who's the new pitcher for the game. He replaces Hunter Hargett, who goes 3 strong frames, allowed 3 hits. 1-0 pitch to Johnson, finds the zone 1-1.
Couple of years at Incarnate Word for Dave Johnson. This year, a 6.31 ERA. He started 5 games and also thrown 7 on the year.
Next pitch, Johnson watches it go by on the off-speeder, 78 miles an hour, 1-2.
It's really been a two-man combo. It's been Dave Johnson and Hunter Hargett. When Hargett starts, Johnson relieves. When Johnson starts, Hargett relieves.
1-2. Bounces in, backhanded by Gregson. 2-2. Johnson is 0 for 1. He struck out back in the second inning, swinging. One of 2 strikeouts for Hunter Hargett. He also got Zach Mazak, who bats right before Jack Johnson. It's Johnson on Johnson right here. As he rolls it towards third, up with it is Hernandez across the diamond to get Johnson by a few steps.
Well, the Johnson on the mound. Big strikeout pitcher, 21-5, doesn't walk a whole lot of batters in. Well, that's been the trend all the way throughout for Incarnate Word pitching, although it's been a bit of a shaky weekend for them in terms of walks. Hunter Hargett, a guy who didn't walk a whole lot of players this week, or rather this season. He walked 3 while striking out only 2. End of his line is 3 innings, 3 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, but more importantly, kept Baylor off the board.
First pitch from Dave Johnson down low to Tyreek Kemp. He's stepping up for maybe his first official at-bat in this ball game. He walked his first time up. Didn't have a hit yesterday. Next pitch, checks his swing and lifts it down the first base line towards the camera well. Is Braden Murray down there? Nope, he is not. He's sitting right in front of us in the stands. Braden, the Lariat TV news reporter covering the games this weekend, hangs out in the booth for about half the game, though. 1-1. Kemp swings through a 79-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch from Johnson, 1-2.
Yeah, he's an expert stat guy who feeds us the information we need, whether it be from the Morning Wire, Daily Wire, or his own brain.
It's a powerful brain that he's got. 1-2. Cut on and miss, strike 3. Tyreek Kemp goes down on strikes for the first time today. It's the 22nd on the season for Dave Johnson.
Yeah, first time that Tyreek Kemp has been struck out this weekend. Going into that at bat, there had been 13 plate appearances for Tyreek Kemp, 1 hit, 3 walks, but it put everything in play and done a nice job of just putting bat to ball. Unable to do so there as Johnson's breaking stuff is what fooled Tyreek Kemp.
Cortland Castle digs in, likes the first pitch he sees, rolls it towards short right at Grant Randall, up with it, throwing in time by 1 step to get Castle there at first. 3 up, 3 down go the Bears, and Dave Johnson works it well in his first inning of relief, faces 3 batters. They all sit down. We go to the top of the 5th frame. Bears trailing 1-0 on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Steven Sepulveda returns to the mound in the top of the fifth frame. Allowed one hit last inning on Ryder Hernandez. It was an RBI double into the right center field alleyway, and while the run won't go charged to Steven Sepulveda, he is the one who did allow the first extra base hit of the day against Incarnate Word. They'll be facing Grant Randall, number 2 man in this batting lineup. Randall is 1 for 2 on the day, strikeout and a single. First pitch from Sepulveda, low and outside, finds the dirt 1-0, 80 miles an hour on the gun. Yanks it over into the left-handed batter's box against Grant Randall, batting from the right side, all black cleats with the gray pants pulled up just beneath his knees, showing off those scarlet red socks for Incarnate Word. 1-0 pitch from Sepulveda, working from the stretch. Fastball is too low, 2-0.
First outing of the weekend for Steven Sepulveda. Of course, he got that midweek action as we talked about, but Baylor's only had to use 5 relievers across these first 3 games of the weekend.
2-0 to Randall. Swings and taps it straight back into the net. Randall played in 52 games last season at Incarnate Word, 13 extra base hits. .275 average, though, 2 homers with 14 driven in. Really improved upon things this time around. Nearly a 300 clip, 29 hits on the season. Next pitch is low and outside, ball 2. Entered this weekend at a .311 batting average, though, in 27 starts. And a slugging percentage well above 500, too. So able to not only get hits, but hit for power is Grant Randall. Hasn't really done that, though, this weekend so far, just making contact. Next pitch finds the zone on the outer edge, 3-2. Has worked a pretty good count. Infield is playing him straight up. Corners are playing off the lines. Deep are playing the middle infielders, as is the outfield at normal depth. Flag motionless in center. Here's the payoff pitch. Low and outside, ball 4. Back-to-back innings that Incarnate Word starts off with a leadoff man on.
Sepulveda, one of the few relievers in the Baylor bullpen who struggled with control. That was a big switch for Mitch Thompson after last year. You had pitchers with more walks than strikeouts, and Sepulveda's got 17 Ks and 12 walks. It was evened up at 10 on Tuesday before he got those 7 strikeouts. So he's someone who's just, if he's got his control, he's a lethal pitcher, but he does struggle to sometimes pound the strike zone.
Checks back at first. Randall dives in safely. Of course, they were checking on Randall a lot his last time up. He's 4 for 4 in the stolen base category. 5 for 6 in the stolen base category this season. The man at the plate is 4 for 4 in that category, batting at a 400 clip. 5 homers on the season. We saw one on Friday night. First pitch, low and inside on the fastball. Ball 1 from Sepulveda to Dalton Beck. Beck, as mentioned earlier, transfer out of K-State being Kansas State, not Kent State. Before then, he was at Grayson College. A few guys on that Grayson College roster making their way here to Incarnate Word, and he takes one off of the, looks like lower right side of his back. He's not quite happy, really flings that one towards the first base dugout. Frustrated as he walks his way down to first. Not a light jog, he is walking to first.
Well, he did the exact same thing after the 12-pitch walk that he worked in the third, just kind of putting the style into the hit by pitch and walk. Whole infield is going to meet with Steven Sepulveda on the mound as James Leverton comes on out. So they want to attack this. You definitely want a double play ball, but Sepulveda is more of a strikeout guy than a ground ball pitcher. And Ryan Scott doesn't turn over a whole lot.
It's been so much changes or, so many clips online that you see. The bat flipping, not just the home runs, on the walks, on the hit by pitches, everything in college baseball. It seems like that's just the new thing. Everybody feels the need to just throw their bat, whether they get walked, take a hit by pitch, or home run.
That's why they need to switch it to wood bats.
Yeah.
Make sure you only flip that bat if you really, really want to. That's always been kind of the kick for college baseball, though. Metal Bat League.
More home runs. Sepulveda's trying to prevent anything but that right here. With runners on first and second, or he's trying to just get the first out of the inning, really. First pitch misses low and outside to Ryan Scott. Struggling through the top of this Incarnate Word order. They got two men on. One on the walk, one on the hit by pitch. And now Ryan Scott, he's 0 for 1, walked in the third. Next pitch, down low by his ankles, 2-0. Runners take their lead at first and at second. Hunter Toplansky, the third baseman, is playing about a step to the right of the third base line. Middle infielders pinching the bag. 2-0 pitch. Just barely off the bat of Ryan Scott and off the glove of Cortland Castle, who's slightly shaken up. It was a big swing by Ryan Scott. Did that hit was it the bat that hit Cortland Castle or the ball? Did you see that?
Looked like a foul tip, and it hit off the shoulder of Cortland Castle, the right shoulder, his throwing arm.
I know sometimes on the follow-through on the bat, guys can kind of reach back and get the catcher with that aluminum bat, as you were saying.
Yeah, a lot more damage if you're swinging it with the aluminum than the wood.
Scott's is all black with red batting gloves. It waves above his red batting helmet. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Down in the dirt, scooped up by Cortland Castle. It's 3-1 with runners on first and second still.
If Sepulveda walks this batter, that's the end of the line for him. You just can't do that in a ball game where it's 1-0. Still haven't recorded an out, and there's already 2 on. This is Baylor's game to lose, and so far they're down. You don't want to make it down and out.
3-1. Misses outside, not really close to finding the box, and Ryan Scott is making his way to first, a walk. So 3 straight base runners in the top of the 5th inning for Incarnate Word. A walk, a hit by pitch, and now another walk thrown by Steven Sepulveda brings up Tony De Jesus.
Well, Mitch Thompson went to the phone. He's not out of the dugout yet. They aren't making that decision. Sepulveda is still waiting on the pitch from the pitch comm. He doesn't have it. We'll see if they let him step on the rubber, and they will. Thompson's going to lean up against the fence, but he went to the phone. At least one more batter for Sepulveda.
Yeah, no outs in the frame still as the bases are loaded for Incarnate Word, and Tony De Jesus at the plate. Takes low and outside. Nice job by Cortland Castle. Had to reach way over into the left-hand batter's box to backhand it. 1-0 the count to De Jesus. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Grounded out on a fielder's choice his last time up, and grounded out to short his first time up. So he's 0 for 2. Looking to extend this Incarnate Word lead. Next pitch. On the outer edge, strike 1.
Sepulveda throws it sidearm, and he's pulling a lot of these pitches way too far outside. A generous call there as it was on the outside corner, but that's the issue when you throw it sidearm. It's tough to kind of tuck it on the inside of these right-handed hitters. He's missing everything away.
He comes set, glove in front of his face. Throws this one down in the zone, gets a big cut from De Jesus. Nice pitch on the off-speeder down in the zone. De Jesus swings right over top of it. It's 1-2. Yeah, you're right. It seems like whenever he misses outside to these right-handed hitters. Was able to dial that one in nicely there. Ready with the 1-2. Here it comes. Fastball barely tipped foul. De Jesus stays alive. That's something Incarnate Word batters have done really well, especially in these past few frames. Extend at-bats, just barely get pieces to battle. Barely making that soft contact and not striking out, which is what they did so much against Baylor starting pitching the last 2 days. Over 17, 18 strikeouts in total for Baylor starters across the first 2 games. 1-2 from Sepulveda. Breaking ball falls in, strike 3. De Jesus just watches it go by and walks his way to the first base dugout, pounds himself on the helmet one time after leaving the bases juiced. With nobody gone, now with 1 out, Mitch Thompson's going to make a move to the pen. So Thompson exits the dugout from the third base side. We'll have another reliever in this game to replace Steven Sepulveda, who replaced Mason Green. And now with the bases loaded, the Bears trying to keep Incarnate Word right where they're at, 2 outs to go in a 1-0 ball game. New pitcher coming into the game for Baylor. We'll let you know who it is when we return on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
New pitcher for the Bears entering the game for Steven Sepulveda in the top of the 5th frame. It's going to be Drew Leach on to face J.D. Gregson for Incarnate Word, and he'll be entering the game with the bases loaded and 1 gone in the top of the 5th inning. Steven Sepulveda faced 4 batters in this frame, got the last one he faced out on a looking strikeout. The first 3 in this 5th inning reached on a walk, a hit by pitch, and then another walk. And now J.D. Gregson has swung a pretty hot bat this weekend, entering this AB with 3 hits in the series. And now a chance to put the Cardinals up even more. They're up 1-0, and with 1 gone and the bases juiced, a chance to make that even more.
Yeah, high-intensity situation for Drew Leach, who's been the most reliable Baylor reliever other than Ethan Calder, who threw a scoreless outing yesterday. Went 2 scoreless innings in relief of Colin McKinney. So now you go with Leach. You got a lot of right-on-right matchups. In fact, the next 4.
Drew Leach's first pitch to J.D. Gregson. Swing and a high fly ball out towards left field. Jordan racing back to the wall, looking up. That ball is gone right over the 375-foot marker in left center field. J.D. Gregson blasts himself the 7th home run of his season and puts Incarnate Word up 5-0 on the grand slam in the top of the 5th frame. Something about these first at-bats against the newly inserted pitcher, because the last time it was Steven Sepulveda, 2 pitches, and then he gave up a RBI double to Ryder Hernandez. And now it just takes 1 pitch for J.D. Gregson to punish one over the left center field fence. And now it's a 5-0 ball game. Incarnate Word leads. First pitch to Sam Tormos, shot into the Baylor dugout on a few hops. Tanner Duke was the pitcher, had to get out of the way of that one as it rattles off into the bench area at the dugout. 0-1 the count to Tormos. The bases are now cleared. Takes in the bottom of the zone, 0-2. So that's not what Mitch Thompson was looking for. Takes out Steven Sepulveda, replaces him with Drew Leach, and Leach gives up a home run on the first pitch. This one's ticked foul off the front leg of Sam Tormos. So now 5 runs on 6 hits for Incarnate Word. No runs on 3 hits for the Bears. Next pitch misses way outside. Next pitch, swing and a pop-up into straightaway center field. Altman going back, but it's going to be played by Ty Johnson. Racing into the right center field alleyway, has it easily for out number 2.
Well, welcome to the ball game, Drew Leach, I guess. First pitch, home run. It's a sour taste, especially, I think you look at the arm angle of Drew Leach and Steven Sepulveda, they're so similar that even changing pitchers, it doesn't throw off the timing.
Yeah, you're right. And that one's down in the zone by the ankles of Daniel Calabrese, 1-0. Very similar. 3/4 arm slot. Looks like Leach may be a little bit higher up. Sepulveda more towards the sidearm angle. Next pitch, down in the dirt again, 2-0. But you're right, pretty much the same exact arm slot. You know, and it's tough to tell from our vantage point. Thought it was a lefty warming up in the bullpen. 2-0. Ticked foul back to the backstop, 2-1. But of course, maybe not going for too many lefties today. Already saw Ethan Calder in the game yesterday, and a lineup for Incarnate Word that has 7 right-handed bats. Drew Leach, next pitch in there, even though it pops out of the glove of Cortland Castle. Finds the dirt in the batter's box. 2-2 to Calabrese. He's 1 for 2. Fielder's choice in the second inning, and then singled and scored a run in the 4th. Infield playing him straight up, as is the outfield. Next pitch, gets a hold of it, laced towards straightaway center. Back on it, Johnson racing back into the alleyway. He brings it in for out number 3. 105 miles an hour off the bat of Calabrese. The yard holds it, though, on the line drive. And the Bears get out of the inning. Not before Incarnate Word puts up 4 more on J.D. Gregson's grand slam, as Incarnate Word will take a 5-0 lead into the bottom of the 5th inning. When we return, Foster Nicholas will take you home on the play-by-play on Baylor Lariat Radio. Bears trailing 5-0.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
A lot of work to be done on the banks of the Brazos. Foster Nicholas and Joe Pratt bringing you the action from Baylor Ballpark. Game 3 of a 3-game set. Bears riding a 5-game winning streak, but that's how many runs they've seen scored against them here as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 5-0 Incarnate Word. Bears are going to turn over the lineup card. It'll be 1, 2, and 3. Enzo Apodaca, Ty Johnson, and Wesley Jordan as they look for a response. First pitch from Dave Johnson, who's working quickly, found the zone to Enzo Apodaca. Here comes pitch number 2. Chopped down the first base side, out of play. It's 0-2. Apodaca 1 for 2 today, a single and a ground out to first base. He set the tone in the Baylor lineup, the .351 hitter. And Johnson, wasting no time, fires away again. Skips it up to the plate. It's 1-2. A big difference between Hunter Hargett and Dave Johnson, Joe. Hargett was taking his time, and Johnson, he gets the ball back, and he instantly, working from the windup, he just steps right back on the rubber. And when Enzo Apodaca looks at him, he's ready to fire away. Now he motions, fires home. Apodaca waiting on it, flares one to the third base dugout. Ducking are some of the Baylor batters. Tucked behind the fence. It's still 1-2.
Yeah, definitely a change of pace with Johnson, a high strike guy, keeps the Baylor Bats on their toes. Just 5 walks this season to 21 Ks, now 22.
High leg kick from Johnson, fire it home. Neck high fastball, Apodaca lays off, it's 2-2. Not overwhelming stuff from Dave Johnson, but the tall frame does elicit some swing and misses and intimidation. 2-2. Swinging a line drive down the first base line. It'll tail foul, nearly hop a fence and head to the berm. Stays in play, though, and will reset as one of the bullpen arms for UIW chases it out there and then heads back to get some more warm-up pitches underway. Second pitcher of the day for Incarnate Word is Dave Johnson. Hargreaves went 3 shutout, and then a 1-2-3 inning. Last inning for Johnson. Apodaca swings here, pops it up on the infield. Hernandez looking for it. He finds it just in front of the shortstop position, but the third baseman, Hernandez, chases it down. First out of the inning is Apodaca under the breaking ball. 1 down.
A tough play on the infield there to make for Hernandez. Kind of having to deal with the swirling wind with the flag in center field pointed towards right center now. And so blowing away from him towards the middle of the diamond. He's able to bring it in, though.
Johnson on Johnson matchup as Ty Johnson steps in to face Dave. First pitch near the shoestrings, backs away. It's 1-0. Ty 0 for 2. Grounded into a double play in the first inning, and then grounded out to first in the third, so still searching for that first hit. Way out in front of the breaking ball. It's 1-1. Johnson fashioning the gray bat. Bears wearing the mustard yellow they call gold jerseys. Steps up the count at 1-1. Chops this one towards second. Laying out is the second baseman De Jesus, but it trickles under his glove and rolls into left field, or rather, rolls into right field. De Jesus shaken up a bit as he grabs his wrist, scoops his hat off the grass, and heads back to the second base position. Johnson will get his first hit of the day. 3 ground balls, and he finally finds one that skips through the infield.
Yeah, and Johnson gets the first base hit on Johnson. Was able to get through the first 4 batters, sat all of them down, and now his first base runner. Now a quick back pick towards first. Wow, working quickly to the batters and also with runners on, Foster.
Wesley Jordan is due up next. Doesn't have a true at-bat. Couple of walks on the day for Jordan. Got as far as third base, but he was stranded there with all the bases loaded in the third. First pitch to him, skips up to the plate. Nice block by Gregson. Fire a new ball back to Dave Johnson. He doesn't like it, so he'll request a new one. Well, Johnson allowing batters to hit .380 when there are runners on base. He's given up 13 extra base hits this year, including 4 home runs. Incarnate Word pitcher nods at the sign, checks first now, pins the glove against the belt, and slides 6 home. Big swing from Jordan, but he's way under this one. Shallow center field, chasing it back as the shortstop, called off now by Cameron Cayley, and he'll see the ball into the back of the glove for the second out of the inning. Jordan hit that one 100 miles an hour, but he hit it straight up, just under the pitch. Put a great swing on it, but just didn't see it all the way to the barrel of the bat. He's the second out of the inning, and Daniel Altman looks to start a 2-out rally.
Yeah, Jordan, a couple of really good at-bats going into that one. A bit more aggressive this time around and just dips underneath that one. Nice job by Dave Johnson, though. Clearly the Baylor Bats aren't seeing his pitches as well.
Lefty Altman 1 for 2 with a single. Taking here first pitch, finds a strike, does Johnson. It's 0-1. 22 strikeouts to 5 walks on the year for Johnson. He's found the strike zone impeccably today. Ty Johnson at first takes a 5-step lead, bounces around, pitch on the way to Altman, swings over the top of a breaking ball that dips into the dirt. It's 0-2. Altman, the second best batting average on the team, sitting at .342. Become that everyday guy, and although not a power threat, settles into the 4-hole with ease. Slide step, pitch on the way, check swing on the outside corner. He lays up. Gregson pops out of his crouch as the pitch misses. Thought about back pick to first, but Ty Johnson retreats, and then Dave Johnson gets the ball back, and by the time the sentence is concluded, he's set on the mound, staring down Daniel Altman. Pins the glove against his black belt, lifts the knee, fires home. Too far inside. No. Strike 3 called. Daniel Altman shakes his head, stares down the umpire, and still shaking his head as he throws his bat and walks back to the dugout. Well, the Baylor pitching going to have to do the bat some favors as they still try to stay in it. It's 5-0 Incarnate Word as we head to the 6th. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Baylor not out of the weeds quite yet as we head to the 6th inning, and 9-1-2 are due up in the Incarnate Word order. Cardinals, they dropped the first two games by a combined score of 28-10. But they've shut out the Bears thus far through 5. They lead it 5-0. 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Cardinals. No runs, 4 hits for the Bears. First pitch by Drew Leach, who returns back to the mound, to Ryder Hernandez, the junior third baseman, tucks inside for strike 1. Hernandez, an RBI double against Steven Sepulveda in the first at-bat of Sepulveda's outing. Swings over the top of a breaking ball, 0-2. That was the first hit of the series for Ryder Hernandez, Cedar Park native. 0-2, pop-up center field. Ty Johnson retreating to his left. He calls off Enzo Apodaca, finds the baseball, and shuts him down for the first out of the inning. Another hard shot towards the deep center field area. After the Gregson grand slam, Baylor trying to keep pitches lower in the zone and get Incarnate Word batters to roll over, but just haven't been able to find the ground ball outs. Cameron Cayley going to dig in for his fourth at bat today. Checks his swing. Appeal to third base, says no. 1-0. Whips the bat around, brings it above the left ear. Pitch on the way. Too far inside. It's 2-0. 90 miles an hour there for Leach. Sits in those low 90s, upper 80s with the fastball. He'll break down below 75. Take a little off and get to 81 on the changeup. Goes back to the heat and skips it up to the plate. 3-0 to Cameron Cayley. Leads the Southland Conference in walks. Did a lot of pitching for Baylor last year. Pitch on the way. It's in the dirt. He works the walk. 4-pitch walk for Cam Cayley. It's the 35th walk of the year for Cameron Cayley. So when you look at his stats, Cayley's got 39 hits, 35 walks. Last year, as Baylor's weekend starter, he gave up 66 hits, so he's already recorded more hits himself than hits he gave up on the mound last year, and hits he recorded in the green and gold just one last year. So fantastic bounce-back season for Cameron Cayley in his senior year with Incarnate Word. First pitch to the shortstop, Grant Randall, misses outside, so 5 straight pitches fall astray of the zone for Drew Leach. Working quickly, slide step, fire this one too high and in. That's 6 in a row that have missed the zone. Norman, Oklahoma native at the plate, not going to make anything come for free. He's 1 for 2 and has walked today as well. Run scored for Grant Randall, sitting on third when there was the grand slam. He'll rip this one through the left side, trickles its way into left field. Wesley Jordan will relay it in. Another base hit for Grant Randall. He's reached base 3 times today after tucking that one into the outfield grass. And as quick as a snap, another threat for Incarnate Word.
Yeah, Grant Randall responding well after entering this game 0 for 6 on the series, and more on that Cam Cayley walk had entered this weekend atop the Southland Conference in all of walks. He maintains that mark at 35. The next guy closest to him is at 30, so a bit of a cushion there. He's seen it really well.
Dalton Beck, 3-hitting designated hitter, digs in, sees the pitch skip up into the dirt. Familiar sight that Beck has seen today. Came into this game with just 1 hit on the series. That was a 2-run home run in his first at-bat on Friday night. Since then today, though, a single in the first inning, a walk in the third, and he was standing on second after a hit by pitch in the 5th inning when the grand slam was hit over the fence. This one thrown behind him. He ducks away. Pitch gets all the way to the backstop. Beck does nothing but shake his head. He cannot believe it as Drew Leach just tosses the ball back to the dugout. He wants a new one. Cortland Castle's going to go talk things over with Drew Leach. An unacceptable miss from Leach, not only because it frightened Dalton Beck at the plate, but advances the runners into scoring position.
Yeah, not a great throw there, and may have heard the Baylor Baseball Sports Information Director Max Calderon over the speaker in our booth saying wild pitch. I think that goes without saying. Was behind Dalton Beck and back to the backstop. A couple times today we've seen some wild pitches get all the way back. Now it looks like they're going to send Beck over to first. Of course, now with first open, really no reason to throw to him ahead 2-0 in this count. So they'll put him on first with the walk to bring up Brian Scott. Now they'll load the bases for the 3rd time in this game.
Loading the bases for the cleanup hitter, a risky choice for Baylor, but Beck not the guy you want to challenge when you're already behind. Scott, they've had a little bit more fortune with. He's 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. Outside breaking ball, tucks outside the zone, 79 miles an hour and an inch off the plate. It's 1-0 to Ryan Scott. Scott grounded to third in the first and then back-to-back walks, and he again standing on first base when the grand slam was sent over the fence an inning ago. Leach bounces back, finds a strike in the outside corner, evens up the count at 1-1. 24 pitches on the outing for Leach. Half strikes, half balls. With that, he's walked a couple of batters in this inning, so this has been the risky inning for Drew Leach. Big cut by Ryan Scott as Leach climbs the ladder. Coming up empty is the Incarnate Word first baseman, and Leach a strike away from recording the first out of the inning. Infield playing deep with the bases loaded. Call it double play depth as they trade 2 outs for a run. Hunter Toplansky way back at third. Middle infielders hugging second. 1-2. Inside corner. Can't get the call. It's 2-2. A big groan from the Baylor fans, especially one sitting in right between box 21-22, wearing a big hat reading BU on the front. He chants his disapproval as Drew Leach comes set. Pins the glove against his belt. Fires inside with a fastball, but again too far inside. It's a full count.
Where can I get one of those?
I don't know, but I've been thinking about that too.
He's still got the sticker on. It's brand new.
It's 3-2. Runners won't go. Pitch on the way. This one drilled down the third base line. Tucks foul as the third base coach escapes it. Ball hops all the way down to the warning track. And Ryan Scott will dig back in after sending one off the bat 115 miles an hour. Down the third baseline foul. Drew Leach set. Fires away. Bounced up the middle, a base hit. Rolls into center field. Rounding third, heading to the plate is Cayley. Fire it in. And 2 runs score. Cayley and Randall come across as Ryan Scott comes through with the bases loaded. No out. Our 2-run double. It's a 7-run lead, 7 of which have come unanswered from the 4th inning. Scored 1, 4 in the 5th, and now 2 here in the 6th, already across for Incarnate Word. And there are still no outs in the inning with runners on the quarter. Mitch Thompson, he went to the phone, not leaving the dugout just yet as he didn't have action up there until now. Trusted his breakout reliever Drew Leach, but an ERA sub 3.5 is now north of 4.50. Fastball high and in, ducking away is Tony De Jesus. 5-hitting second baseman, nearly saw one wear it off the helmet. So for 3 today, and he has a 1-0 count on him now. Leach doesn't check the runners before delivering home. Tucks another one, just pulls it way too far outside. He's missed outside and he's missed inside. Talked about how Sepulveda, when he was out there from that 3-corner arm slot, he would just miss outside, and now Leach has been missing on both sides of the plate. lined up the middle, an RBI single for Tony DeJesus. The battery barrage just keeps on rolling as Incarnate Word is tagging every single Baylor pitcher they've seen. Just one run against Mason Green, and that came as Steven Sepulveda gave up an RBI double. So Green, the only Baylor pitcher who's really been able to fool Incarnate Word. The bullpen has not done that. Drew Leach is going to see Mitch Thompson walk out of the dugout as his ERA sits 5 points below 5. It's at 4.95. It spikes 1.5 points after giving up 3 runs so far. Rather, 4 runs so far. He's going to walk towards the dugout. Baylor going to make a pitching change. More on that when we come back. It's 8-0. Incarnate Word with the advantage. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Runs already across here in the top of the 6th inning. Baylor trying to muscle their way forward. Andrew Petrowski, the new arm for Baylor, is Drew Leach, who is responsible for runners on first and second. Finishes his line with an inning pitch, gave up 4 hits. He's given up 4 runs to this point, walked 2, and struck out none. Baylor pitching has walked 7 batters today, only striking out 2. So a pitching staff, rather a starting pitching staff, that is absolutely dazzled this weekend, has been let down by a relief outing from Drew Leach and Steven Sepulveda today. But the series score, if you're still scoring it, Baylor's on top, 28-18, but 8 of which have come today for Incarnate Word as they lead this one 8-0. Petrowski, the new pitcher for Baylor, he's going to inherit runners on first and second with no outs, facing J.D. Gregson, who tagged a grand slam last inning. First pitch he saw from Drew Leach sent it over the fence, so he won't be afraid to swing away first pitch. Instead, he takes it as Petrowski's not going to give him anything to hit. Spikes it behind home plate. It's 1-0. Set at the belt now, fires home. Rips this one to left field. J.D. Gregson's going to keep it rolling for Incarnate Word. And all you can do if you're Baylor is sigh. Coming around from second to home is Ryan Scott. DeJesus advances 90 feet to second base. And J.D. Gregson is tagging these Bears time and time again. That is 4 straight RBI singles. Rather, 3 straight RBI singles for Incarnate Word, with Ryan Scott plating 2 on his.
Yeah, but you're right, 4 straight in the last 4 official at-bats because Dalton Beck was in there and took an intentional walk. So, yeah, they just keep on rolling. And even against Andrew Petrowski, that's no test for J.D. Gregson 2 times, and he's 2 for 2 against newly inserted pitchers in this game.
Brings up the right fielder, Sam Tormas, as he is the 8th batter to see home plate this inning. Just 1 out recorded. Runner still on first and second. Pitch on the way, dribbled up the middle. To diving stop by Kemp. Flip it with the glove to 2. Relay to first. My goodness! Tariq Kemp saves the day. He threw it with his glove behind his head. from the seat of his pants, and Daniel Altman finishes it off. If that doesn't spark the offense, I don't know what will. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Baylor gets out of it. A ton of work to do still, but that's just the start. It's 9-0 Incarnate Word as we head to the bottom of 6. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Baylor's bats needing to wake it up as the sing-along 6th inning ensues at Baylor Ballpark. Foster Nicholas and Joe Pratt on the call. 3rd inning of work for Dave Johnson as he heads back out to the mound. He's faced 7 batters, giving up just 1 hit. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Bears with Toplansky, Mazok, and Jack Johnson scheduled to face the quick-working Dave on the mound. He's working from the windup. First pitch to Toplansky, bounces it to first, takes a funky hop, but seeing it into his glove. Does Ryan Scott, takes it to the bag, retires Toplansky on just 1 pitch, so things still working in the direction of Dave Johnson. Zach Mazok, the only guy who's not faced Johnson yet. He'll dig in. Baylor designated hitter 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a ground out. Hitting .357 on the year. This is his 8th start of the season. High leg kick pitch on the way too far inside. Shaves him off the plate, and he goofily just whips his head back around, digs back in the box, showing some personality as he brings the bat behind his ear. Awaits the next pitch. That one finds the zone. At 77 on the breaking ball, remusters his confidence and digs back in. Dave Johnson wasting no time as just 2 seconds shade off that pitch clock. Mazok will take it, bounce it down to first base line, foul. It's 1-2. Even on foul balls, Dave Johnson working mighty quick. He gets the ball he wants. Now he takes his circle around the mound. He does the same little routine every time. He walks around the grass, then from behind the mound, steps on the rubber from the windup. He fires away now. It misses low. That's going to be ball 2. Pitch on the way, high fly ball right field. This one tucking towards the fence. Out of here! Well, Zach Mazok puts a good swing on it. That one looks to jumpstart the Baylor offense. 78 miles an hour was the breaking ball, left it too far up in the zone, and at 96 miles an hour, Mazok sends it out of here. First homer of the year for a guy who showed power potential last season. Not trying to do too much, and it pays him off. Mitch Thompson going to give him a fist bump and a slight smile as the Bears look to change the tides. First pitch swinging is Johnson. He'll send this one to right field. He was under that one, though. It's going to hang up and get chased down by Sam Tormes. Seems like every time I look down to fill out the score sheet, someone puts the ball in play.
He worked so quickly, especially after that home run. Johnson just wanting to get that first pitch in there to Ty Johnson and get back on track after the home run from Mazok, his third as a Baylor Bear, one that just continued to carry on out of here with help of that 9 miles per hour wind. Geez, that's a tough one. Out towards right field.
First pitch to Tariq Kemp in there. Strike one. Kemp is 0 for 1, walked and then struck out. Only strikeout of the series for Tariq Kemp. High leg kick from the windup, outside corner. That's strike 2. Kemp knew it. He just has to sigh. Wasn't a great pitch to hit. Changeup at 78 that shades the outside corner. 0-2. Inside. This one too far in the dirt as well. It's 1-2. Kemp also a guy searching for his first home run as a Bear. Swings. Dribbles this one off his ankle. Foul ball 1-2. Did show power potential last year. Plucked out double-digit home runs at Western Oklahoma Community College. Also hit north of 350. So despite his stature, similar to Jose Altuve, probably shorter than Altuve even, he's got pop in the bat. Dribbles this one straight back towards the netting. Tariq Kemp stays alive.
You think shorter than Altuve?
I do.
I thought Altuve was 5'6". Or maybe I'm completely wrong. We got Braden Murray here, Houston Astros fanatic. How tall is Altuve?
Pop up, foul territory. Gregson going to watch this one fly out of play. Strike 2 still.
Braden says 5'7" is Altuve.
Well, if he's 5'7", Tariq Kemp is that exact same height as he stands at 5'7". So, small middle infielders with similar game. 1-2 pitch. Takes this one low and inside, ball 2. Heck of an at-bat worked so far by Tariq Kemp, fouling off a couple of pitches and just keeping it all alive. 8th pitch of the AB. Low and outside. Kemp watches it miss. It's 3-2. The small showing of Incarnate Word fans, they groan, but that's something Baylor fans have been doing all day. 10th pitch. Fire away. Outside corner. It misses. Tariq Kemp drops the bat. Loses the ankle guard and jogs down to first base. Bears get a runner on for Cortland Castle with 2 outs in this 6th inning. 1 run already across for the Bears. They are trailing 9-1, but down but not out. Baylor scored 28 runs this series. It's a 3-game series. They scored 28 runs in 2 games, scoring 1 today. So they've clearly been able to see this Incarnate Word pitching staff, but Hunter Hargett and Dave Johnson have put a spell on them this far. Kemp a short lead at first. Cortland Castle digs in. First pitch to him, swinging. He's fooled on the breaking ball. 70 miles an hour. Looked like a curveball at 12-6. Just started belt high, dropped below the ankles. And he was way out in front. 0 for 2 is Cortland Castle. High leg kick into a slide step. The motion towards home a bit funky as Castle fouls it back. Still 0-2. Dave Johnson adjusts his undershirt, just tosses his arms out in front of him, now comes set at the belt. Checked Kemp at first, who's got a 3-step lead, fires home. Chop towards first does Castle. There with it, Scott, underhand toss to 1, and the Bears will settle for a solo home run in the 6th. We head to the 7th, Baylor still searching. It's 9-1 Incarnate Word. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
Incarnate Word bringing in the bottom part of the lineup to face Andrew Petrowski. He found himself a heck of an outing as he faced a couple of batters. Did give up a hit and a run that was credited to Drew Leach, but he got out of it with a double play. Trey Kemp saving the day for Andrew Petrowski. There could have been multiple runs across on Petrowski. Instead, the defense having his back. Incarnate Word is up 9-1 in this ball game as we hit the top of the 7th inning. Baylor had the opportunity to go to the bench, some defensive substitutions and all that good stuff on Friday and Saturday. They have not had such opportunity today as they are deep in the hole and still clinging on to the idea of maybe rallying late. Daniel Calabrese digs in. First pitch from Petrowski, who worked from the windup, swing and a miss. Climbed the ladder and chasing the high cheese at 91 was Calabrese. He comes up empty. It's 0-1. Calabrese 1 for 3, fielder's choice, single and a fly out. Next pitch misses outside, evens up the count. Run scored for Calabrese in the ball game. Scored the first run of the game in that 4th inning. 1-1 pitch. High and in, ball 2. Baylor softball currently looking to win their series over at Getterman Stadium. Bears have already won this series here at the baseball park, but a sweep would be ideal as they look to continue riding that 5-game winning streak they're on. Next pitch misses outside to Calabrese. Petrowski set at the belt, fires away. Dribbled down the first base line, foul, 3-2. More on that softball game, Joe?
Yeah, they got runs in each of the first 5 innings. 3 in the first, 1 in the second and third, 2 in the fourth, and in the fifth. So they have a 9-3 lead over Texas Tech right now. Of course, they have struggled to finish games and play those last 2 innings right. So don't want to speak too soon, but hopefully they're on their way to getting a much-needed conference victory this weekend.
Payoff pitch, too far inside. Calabrese with confidence tosses the bat towards the dugout as he jogs to first base. Didn't wait for the umpire to make the call for him. He takes his bag, and Andrew Petrowski is going to have to face Ryder Hernandez with a runner on.
You know, I think a big difference in this game today is Incarnate Word's bottom half of the order. They've done a really nice job of getting on base. Everybody in the bottom 4 has gotten on at least once, except for the guy at the plate in Hernandez. But, of course, he did hit that RBI double, so everybody's been on base.
Pitch, this one too far outside, 1-0. UIW's had a hit from 7 of their 9 starters. Cam Cayley and Sam Tormes, the only 2 who have not recorded base hits, but each of them have walked, so everyone in their starting lineup has reached base today at least once. Hernandez sees a 2-0 count as that one works him off the plate. Right-handed bat really crowding the plate. Toes are touching the chalk, nearest towards home. 2-0 pitch. Low and outside, ball 3. My goodness, these Baylor pitchers have just not been able to find the zone all day long. Andrew Petrowski, one bad pitch away from rocking the 9th Incarnate Word batter of the afternoon. Delivers too far high. Wow. Toss that bat like a submarine towards the dugout and jog towards first. 2 on, no outs, and Cam Cayley's going to look for his first base hit.
I wonder how long they'll let Petrowski go in this one. Of course, not really a guy who has eaten up too many innings on the season.
It looks like that's it. It's good old Mitch Thompson. It's out of the dugout. No motion towards the bullpen, but you know what it means when Mitch comes out there instead of James Leverton.
Yeah, he's going to take this all the way down to the wire to make a decision. There it is.
Lefty.
Yeah, but Petrowski on the year, his longest appearance was 2 innings pitched. That was a few weeks ago against UTSA. He gave up an earned run on 4 hits. Other than that, not too many appearances over an inning or even completing a full inning at that. So it's not a guy who has gone too deep into games. He gets just 2 outs here today against Incarnate Word. Of course, appeared in Friday night's game, pitching an inning and a third, so probably on a bit more of a pitch count for Mitch Thompson, wanting to preserve many of the bullpen arms out there in left field, which is something that they've done this weekend, Foster, at the aid of some really, really solid starting pitching between Mason Marriott, Colin McKinney, and then, well, Mason Green, he did his job today into that 4th inning, and then the bats really got going against this bullpen for Baylor. So now a new arm will come in for Mitch Thompson and the Bears, trying to right the ship, trying to keep Incarnate Word from putting too many more tallies on the board. But they've really heated up. I mean, one run in that fourth inning, but then back-to-back innings with at least 4 plated runs in the fifth and in the sixth. So a 9-1 lead. Going to be tough to play from behind. So that's why Mitch Thompson is making his move to R.J. Rouet out of the bullpen, a lefty. So as mentioned earlier, probably not going to see too many lefties against an Incarnate Word team and lineup that's loaded with right-handed bats. But of course, with the top of the order coming up, this is where you see most of those lefties in the lineup. So,
well, if you stare down a 9-run lead last year, you're like, es finito, no more baseball. You can't chase it back. But the fact that Baylor scored 28 runs in the first 2 games of this series gives them a little bit more confidence that, yeah, if there's a bad outing, we're going to switch it up because we do have a chance to win, even though we're down to the last 9 outs. Incarnate Word's going to have runners on first and second with no outs in this inning. R.J. Rouet, the new pitcher for Baylor, freshman with a 1-0 record in 17 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 8 earned runs, struck out 18, 12 walks. It's good for a 4.08 ERA. He'll face Cam Cayley, Grant Randall, and Dalton Beck. So if you're keeping attention on, it's 1, 2, and 3 in that lineup for UIW.
yeah, Rouet, 2 starts already this season, one against Abilene Christian, and then his last outing against Houston Christian on Tuesday night. He went 2 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, 5 hits, struck out 2, and walked 1. The walks recently have kind of been an issue for him. He's walked over 5 batters, 7 to be exact, in his last 4 appearances, and in that time has thrown a lot of innings, though. So, I mean, he's been able to eat up a lot of outs, throw a lot of pitches, and take up some time, and that's clearly what he's going to enter in this game trying to do here. Nobody out, just trying to get these lefties in the top of the order out. Hopefully a ground ball heavy pitcher. He's going to try to do more of that right here with Cayley at the plate, who sent a pair of high, deep fly balls to center field and has also reached by way of the walk.
Cortland Castle steps in front of home plate, gives the infield some signs with runners on first and second. Hunter Toplansky playing even with the third base bag. Middle infielders in double play depth. Rouet checks second. Cayley shows bunt, pulls it back. This is high and outside, ball 1. Petrowski, Leach, and Sepulveda struggled to throw strikes. Between the 3 of them, each of which allowed 2 walks. Petrowski walked the first 2 batters in this inning. Cayley shows bunt again, pulls it back. Pitch is called strike 1. Cayley, a walk machine, walked in the 6th inning, later scored, as there were 3 consecutive RBI singles by Incarnate Word in a 4-run 6th. Scored 9 unanswered. Rather, they had scored 9 unanswered before Zach Mazok hit a 377-foot bomb over the right field fence. 2-1 the count to Cayley as he took one low and outside. Rouet checks second. Here's the pitch. Low and outside again. It's 3-1. So whether this zone from Michael Dorantes is as small as a pea, or if Baylor pitchers are just really missing the zone, there have been no favors today. Rouet deals again. That one popped up on the infield, pushing foul territory. Toplansky looking for it. He finds it in the sun. With his feet on the dirt near the Baylor dugout, he makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Cam Cayley still yet to record a base hit today.
Yeah, and a much-needed out there from R.J. Rouet, popped up in foul ground. Toplansky having to navigate the foul territory there at the end of the dugout. He had to battle the only shadow that can be found on this field, the light pole on the left field corner, casting its way towards that third base corner there, and he had to make the catch right in the middle of it, so nice job by him to see it all the way through.
Rouet looks home, now looks to second as Grant Randall digs in. First pitch to him, Randall kicks up his right foot as that one nearly got him on the shoestrings. It's ball 1. Rouet's thrown 4 pitches and doubling up the number of balls and strikes. Looks to second, fires home, bounces this one down the third base line, foul. No play for Toplansky. It's still 1-1. Randall having a heck of a day, going 2 for 3 with a walk. He scored 2 runs. All that after responding to a strikeout in the first inning. Rouet checks second, deals home, high and outside, ball 2. 5-game winning streak on the line for Baylor, and they're trying not to give up hope as they trail this one 9-1. Would need a heck of a rally to bounce back. Pop up on the infield. Castle loses the mask, checks for it. Infield fly is called. Jack Johnson can't find it. It drops, but it is still called an infield fly. So the batter is out. Mitch Thompson shaking his head. He just can't believe that even though you had the out, you got to close the glove on that one. Just make the play, make it look easy. Either that or he's like, why'd you call infield fly? The wind's blowing. Could have had a double play there. Throw it to third, throw it to second. You got two.
Maybe a triple play if the runner in the box wasn't hustling down to first. But I think that's one maybe Cortland Castle has to bring in. Of course, communication on the infield, bright skies. Nobody's got their shades on except for Toplansky, so really difficult one to navigate.
First pitch to Dalton Beck, popped up, shallow center field. Johnson now actually going to take a few steps back. He finds it in the sun, closes the glove. That's the third out of the inning. Nice relief outing from R.J. Ruwe. He does his job after back-to-back walks to open the frame. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Take a stretch. It's Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Wakey, wakey. Bats are looking for some action. Bottom of the 7th inning. Enzo Apodaca, Ty Johnson, and the rest of the top of the lineup looking to take charge for Baylor. Dave Johnson is still out there. He's thrown 3 innings of 1-run baseball so far. 2 hits given up, in one of those a home run for Zach Mazak. Apodaca is going to start things off as he digs into the left-handed batter's box. Working from the windup and working quickly is Johnson. 2-hopper to second base. Apodaca sees one pitch, and he's shut down again. 102 miles an hour on the dirt. But nonetheless, the first out of the inning is Ty Johnson's going to have to start the rally.
Yeah, Tony DeJesus has really been testing a lot of scorching ground balls hit by not only Apodaca, the rest of this Baylor lineup, and he's played really well. He's a really great second baseman. Got to respect this Incarnate Word infield. Entering this weekend, had the best fielding percentage, second best in the Southland Conference.
High leg kick, first pitch to Ty Johnson, hits the dirt, 1-0. In the first battle between Ty Johnson and Dave Johnson, well, Ty Johnson got a single. So, see which Johnson prevails here. Pitch outside corner, strike number 1, evens it up. Ty Johnson 1 for 3, the .311 batter continuing that on-base streak. Also grounded into a double play in the first. He dribbles this one to second. DeJesus tested again. Big hop. He snares it near his eyes and a sidearm sling to first for the second out of the inning. More stellar defense from DeJesus. Back-to-back plays that could have been extremely difficult. He just makes it look easy and routine. Back-to-back 4 threes brings up Wesley Jordan with 2 outs.
Yeah, last time up, Johnson was able to squeeze one underneath the glove of DeJesus into right field. Not this time, though.
First pitch to Jordan, bounces up to the plate, 1-0. Dave Johnson, that was his 50th pitch of the outing. So he's been working with some effective stuff so far, not having to do too much. Jordan swinging for the Stars, comes up empty, it's 1-1. 86 miles an hour on the outside corner, pulled his head and was looking straight up at the blue sky with sparse clouds. Inside fastball misses. It's 2-1. Wind blowing the flag in center field. It's almost stagnant, leaning down, but a slight breeze pushing from left field pole to the right field pole. 2-1 misses too low. It's 3-1. Jordan doesn't have a hit today. He kept his team leading on base streak alive, though, with a couple of walks in the first and the third. Swings and misses at the breaking ball. It's 3-2. Jordan hitting .326, took sole possession of the team lead of home runs after pumping out 2 yesterday. Too far outside, Jordan swats his he tosses his bat towards the Baylor dugout, takes his base. Third walk of the day for Wesley Jordan. And Daniel Altman looking to come through so Hunter Toplansky can have another opportunity with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Altman, though, first up. He's 1 for 3, a ground out, a strikeout, and a single. He continues to improve. Fastball too far inside, 1-0. Altman, a .338 hitter, someone who wasn't expected to be an everyday guy, but thrust into that position, getting his 23rd start today, 25th game this year. And he's been a heck of a ball player. 1-0 pitch, skips up to the plate, 2-0. Jordan going to take a big lead at first. Got about 5 steps, wide stance. Set at the belt, firing to the plate is Johnson. Gets an outside corner. It's 2-1. Nice breaking ball. Tails back towards Daniel Altman after looking initially like it would find its way into the right-handed batter's box. Johnson pins the glove to the belt now, removes it, fires away, same spot. Called a strike. Daniel Altman can't believe it. He shakes his head. He was doing the exact same thing in the 5th. When he didn't get that call he liked, he was called out on strikes. Shook his head and he gave some words towards home plate umpire Michael Durantes there. Just did it again. Counts even at 2s with 2 outs. Wesley Jordan fakes a steal. Altman bounces 1 to first. It'll be a 3 unassisted. He'll shake his head again and take a sigh of just frustration. We head to the 8th inning. Baylor still trailing this one 9-1. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey there, Bears. Are you living your best life this year at Baylor? Well, we've got great news. The Baylor Roundup Yearbook has been right there with you, capturing those memories at every event. So don't forget to buy your 2022-23 Baylor Roundup Yearbook today and share your memories with friends and family for generations to come. But wait, did you already graduate? Don't worry, we've got you covered. We have yearbooks dating all the way back to 1896. So visit our website today at www.baylor.edu/roundup and order your copy. That's www.baylor.edu/ROUNDUP. Have a great year, Bears, and sick 'em.
R.J. Ruhe rewarded for his good 7th inning with another action of work. The left-hander is going to have 3 righties due up in Ryan Scott, Tony DeJesus, and J.D. Gregson. But aside from starting pitcher Mason Green, he's been the only guy who's really been able to get outs. Ruhe threw that 7th inning after Petrowski walked the first 2 batters. Did it on just 10 pitches, did Ruhe. Ryan Scott digs in, 1 for 2 today, takes the first pitch too far inside at 88 miles an hour. It's a 1-0 count to Ryan Scott. A couple of walks, a single, and a couple of runs scored for the first baseman. Talked about it in the break. He's also been tested at the field as well. 2-0 the count to Scott after Ruhe misses inside once more. 389 hitter digs in. Ruwe from the windup outside corner. Nope, can't find it. 3-0. Everything sitting in the high 80s for Ruwe. Not going to blow you away, so he has to work with his finesse, but you have to find the strike zone in this at-bat. Goes to the stretch here and misses low and in. That's ball 4. So R.J. Ruwe was working from the windup, didn't find the grip that he wanted, moves to the stretch and still can't find the strike zone. Walks Ryan Scott on 4 pitches.
Yeah, interesting changeup, and now he collects signs from the dugout. Not something that you really see every day. Most guys getting signs from the third base coach, but he looks right at the head coach.
First pitch here to De Jesus, misses inside. 5 consecutive balls for R.J. Ruwe. De Jesus 1 for 4 today. Singled in a run as part of the 4-run sixth. He dribbles this one up the middle. It actually hits off Ruwe. Recovering is Kemp. Fire it across. My goodness, is this guy human? Tree Kemp ranging to his right. He scoops it up and throws on the run sidearm. And Jack Johnson comes up with it. Flashing leather like nothing else. Tariq Kemp showing off at short. That'll be the first out of the inning for De Jesus, or rather for the Baylor Bears and R.J. Ruwe. Not out of it yet, though, as there's a runner on second with the hottest bat in the lineup, J.D. Gregson stepping up to the plate. First pitch to him, high and outside, ball 1.
And what a play by Kemp there. He has to sprint towards the middle where the ball was hit, but it goes off the ankle of Ruwe, so he has to slam on the brakes, backhand it, and still able to get that throw in time.
Breaking ball outside corner, strike 2. Counts even. Man, I really want one of those big hats, Joe. I mean, you notice it every single time you look down.
Yeah.
Anyway, 1-1 the count to Gregson. Junior catcher from Frisco's 3 for 4 today. Hits this one foul straight back. Puts Ruwe in the driver's seat 1 and 2. Gregson's got a hit in his last 3 at-bats. Flew out in the second inning, and since then, a single. Later tossed out on a double play, and then a grand slam and an RBI double, and then was doubled up there as well. So he's been part of a couple of double plays when he gets on first base. Ruwe spikes this one in the dirt, evens the count at 2 and 2 with 1 down here in the top of the 8th. Incarnate Word holding to a 9-1 lead. 9 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Cardinals. Ruwe set at the belt, checks second, fires away. That one errant into the left-handed batter's box outside. Full count. For Baylor, 1 run, 5 hits, and no errors. Ruwe looks to second. High leg kick. Pitch home. Slug this one to left center field. Gap shot. That's going to get down. Pushes the wall. It skips off the top of the wall. Jordan chases it there. Gregson chugs into second, and scoring from second base is Ryan Scott. A 10 spot put up from the Cardinals as Baylor sees them continue to tag the scoreboard.
And don't look now. If he's able to get another at-bat in the top of the 9th inning, it would have to go, and Incarnate Word would try to put together some sort of rally if this doesn't end up being a run rule. But he's got 2 singles, a double, and a home run. So just a triple away from that cycle.
First pitch to Sam Tormes, high and outside, ball 1. Well, gave Ruwe some praise after a solid 7th inning, but it has been less than ideal here in the 8th after a walk, a long at bat that leads to a putout, and then an RBI double. Bounces back with a fastball, finds the outside corner for strike 1. 24 pitches in the outing for Ruwe, 14 of which have been errant and outside the zone. 14-10 in the balls and strikes. Check second, fire home. Fouls this one down the first baseline, does Sam Tormes. Tormes 0 for 3, walked in the second inning, but hasn't done much since. Just one of 2 guys in this UIW lineup without a base hit today. Hitting 188 on the year, earning his 3rd start of the 2024 season. Outside is the pitch from Ruwe. It's 2-2. Every time he gets close to that punch-out number, Joe, he just not able to finish off the AB.
I think that's kind of been a theme from all the Baylor pitchers today.
Ruwe looks to second, brings the glove to his belly button, lifts the knee, fires home. This one bounces and then hits off the batter, but They're actually going to say that one hit off of him first before it hit the dirt. Mitch Thompson shakes his head. He's already out of the dugout. He's going to go out to the mound. He's seen enough. Slaps to the right hand, new pitcher. Runners on first and second, 10-1 the lead for Incarnate Word. We'll take a break. More on the new pitcher when we come back. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears! Are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Submarine time at Baylor Ballpark as Grant Golem gets the call from the bullpen. Bears down by 9. It's 10-1 here in the top of the 8th inning. One run already across. Runners stand on first and second for Incarnate Word. End of the outing for Rue. He went 1 1/3. He gave up a hit, walked a batter, hit a batter, and he's responsible for the 2 runners on base while also allowing the first run of the 8th inning to score. So turn it over to you, Joe. What do you know about Grant Golem?
Yeah, Golem making his 9th appearance of the season, 9 innings pitched so far. He's allowed 10 earned runs on 10 hits, so a 10 ERA exactly. He struck out 9 and has cut down the walks a little bit, just 4 walks through those 9 innings pitched. Compared to last year, it was up to 20 walks, nearly a walk, I guess, every other inning. But, that strikeout-to-walk ratio has been a strong suit for him, and he's kind of continued that this year, averaging 1 strikeout per inning, but it's that extra base hit ball that's got him. Of those 10 hits, 5 of them have gone for extra bases, 3 doubles, 2 home runs. So this is a guy that can let some pitches maybe fall out over the plate and get mashed if he's not careful with where he puts it. Obviously, you mentioned he's a sidearm slinger, guy who's not going to blow you away with velocity throwing in the 80s. It's purely just trying to hit his spots, draw some weak contact against a guy in Daniel Calabrese, who's 1 for 3 on the day, seen it well, and this is a Baylor staff that hasn't done itself too many favors, as you were talking about during the break. A lot of free passes given up to go along with the 11 hits that Incarnate Word has mashed.
10 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error for Incarnate Word. Top that off with 10 walks and 2 hit by pitches. So Baylor has allowed more free passes than base hits today. Grant Golem going to look to stray away from that. He set at the belt, and he misses this one badly outside, 1-0. So Golem, another one who goes from that sidearm slot. He's actually below Steven Sepulveda, almost submarine. So if he misses, he's going to likely pull it outside as he did on the first pitch of the AB. Comes back to Calabrese with a breaking ball, low and inside for strike 1. It's fouled off there by Calabrese. As mentioned, 1 for 3, a walk, and a single. Also scored a run. Outside, fastball, strike 2. Baylor infield shifted towards the right side with Calabrese up there. Daniel Altman, who plays second base, is maybe 3 or 4 feet to the left of the second base bag. Pitch, this one dribbled down through the left side into the outfield. Scooped up there by Jordan. He'll fire it towards the plate. Runner goes. Throw is errant. It's all the way behind home plate and to the backstop. Runners will advance to second and third. Mark it down as a single, and then an error on Wesley Jordan to allow the runners to extend to an extra base. As another run comes in to score, a run credited to R.J. Rue, and Grant Golem not able to pick up. Actually, the error is going to go on Hunter Toplansky, who wasn't able to field the throw.
Interesting, kind of a one that was not really close from Wesley Jordan there. Really sailed on him, and Toplansky, I guess, is given the air as the sunshine continues to rain down. The runs are pouring in for Incarnate Word.
Breaking ball misses outside 1-0. Control has been an issue for the green and gold. They're trailing by 10 now. Breaking ball, this one dribbled to third. Toplansky's got it. Runner goes home. He thought about throwing it there and instead just says, let's get it out. Fires it to first. They get the out there. Second out of the inning, but an RBI ground out for Ryder Hernandez. Marks number 2, but lineup card turns over and Cam Cayley's got another shot at this.
Yeah, probably a smart play there from Hunter Toplansky. Just need to get an out in this inning. He was playing slightly deep at third. It was a sharp ground ball, but would have been a close one at home. Of course, it's not a forced play there, and so easy to just make the force at first instead.
Sidearm sling it. That one's submarine on the outside corner. 72 miles an hour, 0-1. Cayley and Golem were teammates last year. Saw each other in the bullpen, worked it out. So see if Cayley knows what's coming while he swats this one to right field. He knew it there. That one going to clear the fence? Yeah, it is. How about that? Cam Cayley against his old team with some friends and family in attendance. Touch them all, Cameron Cayley, and extend the lead to north of 10. A 2-run shot rather for Cayley extends it to 14-1. As he just sent that one over the right field fence with ease.
Well, he's been waiting for that one all weekend and swinging a hot bat, clearly been making solid contact, and now finally is able to stroke one over the right field fence. That's got to feel good for him.
Big swing and a miss by Grant Randall. Comes up empty 0-1. Randall's 2 for 4, also swinging a hot stick. Infield fly rule called on him last time. He'll send this one to Enzo Apodaca. Moves a couple of steps to his right. Thinks he's got it. Now settles under it. Makes the play. That's out number 3. So Baylor sees 5 more come across in the 8th. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Baylor bats, do they have any more left? Let's find out. This is Baylor Baseball on Baylor Lariat Radio.
Hey Bears, are you always the last to know about what's happening at Baylor? Are you left quiet in a group when talking about last week's game? Well, you haven't gotten your morning buzz yet. Did you know you can get your dose of current Baylor news every Tuesday through Friday straight to your inbox? The Baylor Lariat Morning Buzz e-newsletter provides you with breaking Baylor stories, local events, and in-depth sports coverage daily. You can be in the know on all things Baylor. If you aren't already buzzing, go to BaylorLariat.com. That's BaylorLariat.com and click the subscribe now to get your morning buzz from the Baylor Lariat. News for the students, by the students. We'll see you in your inbox.
Cam Cayley had 1 home run in the green and gold, and now he's got 1 home run against the green and gold. Cayley extends that home run, now actually ties the home run lead again. J.D. Gregson had a little bit of separation after a grand slam that plated 4 runs. Well, I guess grand slam, you knew that one, but did that in the 5th inning, and then Cam Cayley hits a 2-run shot. Each of those guys have 7 home runs on the year, so Cayley putting it to Baylor pitching, as it's 14-1 in favor of Incarnate Word. Hunter Toplansky, Zach Mazok, and Jack Johnson due up to bat against Dave Johnson. Johnson's been dealing. First pitch to Toplansky, outside corner, strike 1. Well, a good choice by Toplansky to lay off. He led off the 6th inning. First pitch, dribbled one to first for the out. Enzo Apodaca also swinging first pitch last time. Pulls his head here, comes up empty as he swings for the Stars. It's 0-2. Baylor third baseman's 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch and then singled in the 2nd. Lines this one to center field, actually pops it up. Ranging over to his left is the second baseman to Jesus, but he runs out of room. It'll plop in shallow center field for a base hit. 2-hit game for Hunter Toplansky, only Bear to record multiple hits today.
Yeah, now up to 6 for 9 on the series, 4 driven in still, as mentioned earlier, and a hit by pitch, so just continues to get on base at an incredibly high clip.
Zach Mazok going to dig in after hitting a tater last time. Bounces this one to second on 2 hops. Shortstop for 1, relay to first. Taylor made for 2. 4-6-3 double play. Zach Mazok swinging first pitch, and the Bears, after trying to start a threat with, a single, it's shut down in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, I got to like the aggression there from Mazok. He's clearly not taking this weekend lightly at the plate, been aggressive at the plate, trying to really get some good contact. Got that first homer, but doesn't work out so well this time around.
First pitch to Jack Johnson from Dave Johnson. Third matchup between these two. Johnson was the first, I guess the Johnsons were the first matchup of the afternoon for the reliever. Outside fastball misses. It's 1-1. 66 pitches so far to get through 4 2/3. Incredibly efficient by Dave Johnson to just find his footing. Guy who was looking to right the ship comes too far inside on Jack. It's 2-1. The sophomore from Thousand Oaks, California, is 0 for 3 today with a strikeout, a groundout, and a flyout, getting his first start of this 2024 season after a pinch hit home run last night. He swings and sends this one deep down the left field line. Boy, that had the distance to leave the park, and it does leave the park. It's just behind the Baylor bullpen in foul territory. 103.4 miles an hour off the bat, and that pitch was only in there at 73 miles an hour. He absolutely tagged that one, but has to dig back in, swings over the top of a breaking ball, and the Bears shut down in order. Head to the 9th inning.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Nope. Incarnate Word is actually going to jog out on the field. Mitch Thompson is going to jog out there as well. Baylor's confused. Nope, Thompson's shaking hands. That's the ball game. He's seen enough. 8-run, rather an 8-inning ball game. Baylor's seen enough. There were no run rules after Baylor absolutely obliterated the scoreboard, showing no mercy the past couple games. But when Incarnate Word gets you down, also it being a Sunday, some of the funky rules about the run rule on Sunday, especially with travel schedules. This game has already been north of the 2-hour-and-a-half-minute mark. So on travel days where Incarnate Word's going to head back home on the bus, it is a rule that if it's been 2.5 hours and they're up by 10 or more after the 7th inning, you call ball game. So at the end of 7, it was only a 9-run lead, but then, or rather a 9-1 lead, then put up 5 runs in the top of the 8th, and that's a ball game. And the way Baylor was swinging the stick, that's all it goes.
Yeah, tough weekend for the Bears. Tough way to finish it, I should say. They had a 28-10 total deficit or total advantage in runs in the first 2 games, outscoring the Cardinals 28-10. And now at the end of this series, they will have outscored Incarnate Word 29-24 on the series. So what a finish. Yeah, definitely not what we expected today. 14-1 after a 13-7 win, a 15-3 win. And now Incarnate Word says it's our turn to blow you guys out in the series finale. The Bears' win streak ends right where it stayed today at 5. And so that's a pretty good mark that they'll hopefully be chasing for the rest of this season on their quest to return to a 500 record. Take a look at that record now. Bears down to 13-18 on the season, and Incarnate Word improving upon their already 500 record now to 16-14. And they'll be looking to try to continue to climb up in the Southland Conference standings as Baylor, towards the basement of the Big 12 standings, will have a chance to get right in that category moving forward. But nonetheless, it's a good series win, Foster. You got 2 wins out of it. You would have liked to get that sweep, but there are plenty of positives that likely outweigh this difficult game that they played on Sunday afternoon.
It's the end of the homestand for Baylor, and like you said, a lot of pluses. You got DBU coming up on Tuesday, and then a 3-game series Thursday through Saturday against BYU, also a bottom dweller in the Big 12. Those are winnable games. You win that series, you win the midweek, and you're as close to 500 as you've ever been under Mitch Thompson since the beginning of his tenure. That's all from us at Baylor Ballpark. Final score today, again, 14-1. Loss credited to Mason Green after giving up just 1 run, but that's all it really took for LIU to get the bats, not LIU, I mean UIW, to get the bats rolling in this one. For Foster Nicholas and Joe Pratt, thanks for listening. A little bit shorter ball game than we've heard, and an opposite result of what you'd like. But thanks for tuning in. We'll be back when more Baylor sports have action. Maybe stick it to a couple of softball games as they stay home. From us in the booth and for you at home,